So we are into qualifying for the ADAC SimRacing Professional Trophy. 10 minutes was on the clock. We're 90 seconds, no, a little less than that actually, about a minute in. Nick Damon joins me, John Hindhoff, in the Radio Show Limited Global Broadcast Centre. Let's pick up Niklas Hubon in the number 22 Rutronic Racing Audi. One of the first drivers out on the track. Nobody has got a time as yet. This is all GT3 with a planned 40-minute race to come. And Hubon then, number 22, matching up on the timing tower on the left-hand side. Wherever you're joining us from, thank you. Been a busy and long day. Well done to the techs down in the exhibition area. Still waiting for the first flying lap time to come through. Here comes Niklas,
who is the ADAC Digital Cup champion and the Ravenel GT Challenge champion. So he's obviously knows his way around a virtual Nürburgring.
Using the long version, the full version of the Grand Prix track, although the slightly less harsh chicane at the end.
It's
of
the relaxed chicane.
The relaxed, yes. After a long day.
Unlike the, oh gosh, no, oh, it's the relaxed one.
Okay. 3-2-4 is Tobias Pfeffer. So well done to everybody for getting everything loaded in. That green and multicoloured livery on the R8G Esports Audi R10. R8 V10.
Yes, V10. A winner of the SimGrid World Cup, apparently, according to this little pen picture bio I have here.
Excellent. Well, expect some decent running from him.
SimGrid World Cup, of course, is a team event. We commentated on one of their races back in, a couple of months ago at Donington.
That's right.
Unfortunately, the following race clashed with an event called Le Mans.
Yes. Ben
Hiltz. Hits, yes.
And he's in the HRT, Haupt Racing Esports team. That's the number 4. That is the unmistakable sternum rattling rumble of the front-engined V8 of the Mercedes AMG GT3.
Just like the real GT3, these machines are balanced on a very regular basis.
In terms of balance of performance,
yeah, they get little tweaks of aero, little tweaks of power, little tweaks of turbo pressure, and sometimes a car will emerge as the one to have, and sometimes it won't. But there was an interesting situation at Interlagos quite recently, where suddenly the BMW, which I don't think got any of in the GT3 car, BMW was the one to have because it was turbocharged, and it was effectively modelling the altitude as well, and it gave it a much bigger boost because it's got bigger turbos than the rest.
Ah, right, very good.
Aston.
Nico Wisniewski in the Chill Blast BenQ 33 Aston.
Won the virtual 24-hour Le Mans last year.
Yes, he did. We're part of the Williams Esports squad. That car goes through.
And he's racing in real racing, the Polish champion, the Mazda MX-5 Cup.
Well, I have
full metal.
I have the absolute pleasure of doing the Idemitsu Mazda MX-5 Cup as part of the IMSA package this year, and it has been extraordinary. Last 2 rounds on the official IMSA channel, if you want to go and have a look at WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca, and the usual blanket finishes. We've had some cracking races there. Adam Pinzes for Arnage Competition in the pink Bentley, and that is the number 77 car, back with Dennis Schoeniger for R8G Sport. That's the number 9 car. 2 R8G eSport runners here. He's in 5th at the moment. We have got some times coming in. 52.4 the best at the moment for the number 20.
Right, James Baldwin, yeah.
So 23. Is that a change of number?
No, James being 23.
All right, okay, right.
Part of his, Jensen Button thing.
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah, 23. So is he part of the RGN Esports? Rocket Sports?
Yes, I think he is now. Obviously,
right.
He's he's obviously been most well known for winning the most recent Search for a Star.
Yeah.
What's it called? I forgot what I did the commentary for the full final elimination round. I completely lost what it's called.
World's fastest gamer?
Yes, the world's fastest gamer. Thank you very much indeed. Yes, it's quite late in the day. World's fastest gamer won that, and he was all set for a lovely run. I think in international Blancpain. I think it was the Blancpain Endurance Trophy, and then of course pandemic hit, so we ended up doing the British GTs, and had a very successful season there. But unfortunately, of course, another year rolls round, and budget is yet to be found.
Very tight at the top, just 0.189 of a second rather between Baldwin, Schoeninger, Pfeffer in third, another 0.3 further back. Simonini in the 149. Keep an eye open for that car as we wait for him to come across the line. Ben Hitz, number 4 AMG, black, white and red, to the end of his lap. Zniski's in the pits from 5th. McLaren, white and blue, Richard Mille, colour scheme on the number 7. Ciclari. Now if I was to pick fault with that, I would say I quite like the roof to be the same blue as the rear wing and the side panels.
So you're having a row with the paint more than anything else?
I may be. I'm just sort of offends my OCD, and everything black and blue tend to work, unless it's Inter Milan.
Isn't it red and green you never be seeing?
Well, yes, there's that as well. Simonini across the line in the Audi, confirming his 4th position there. He's spot on time, up a tiny little bit in the first part of the lap through the Mercedes arena. Just about a 10th up, making time into the corners, so he's braking quite late, but he's not taking time through it. Hitz comes through. And he's demoted, in fact, the 10th position. There's Andrea Carpoccia for the GTWR Academy number 150 with the Fanatec sponsorship, sorry.
Certainly a leaning by the 12 drivers towards the Audi. We've got 7 coming out from Ingolstadt, and then a couple of McLaren.
Neustadt now, mate.
Is it?
Oh, that's where customer racing is based.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Well, how far is Neustadt from Ingolstadt?
Far enough you wouldn't like to be dragged there by an important part of your body wrapped in piano wire. I think it's fair to say.
Yes, but the museum's at Ingolstadt, so that's what really counts.
Yes, that's true. And you used to be able to pick your road car up from there as well and have that delivered, presented to you.
Are they like Mercedes, where they actually charge you more to pick your own car up?
I think it is. It used to be on the option list, as it was for Porsche.
Another few hundred, yeah. You want to pick your own car up? It's extra. Sorry, what? Pardon? Because you're more money to pick it up. You can deliver it to me for less.
Well, don't forget, with Porsches, the less you have, the more it costs. The lightweight version is always more expensive.
Well,
1:52.3 now, best time. Still James Baldwin in second place, the number 9. They're both in the pits actually now. So Schoeninger in the pits with that almost 2/10 difference between first and second. Time is about to expire, so last chance saloon, or in this case last chance Grand Tourer for all of these cars as they come round to the end of the lap. 7 seconds to go. Here's Niklas Huben for Rudtronic, silver, blue and black Audi. He crosses the line. Now, did he get another lap?
No,
Don't think so.
It's gone.
Huben, don't think he improved. Still 4th. Clary up on his time at the moment by 0.2 of a second. Where would that take him? Possibly could move him into 5th position ahead of Simonini. Hits at the back at the moment, so Simonini on a bit of a run here. He's got a 10th or so up, so he might. Oh, he's just dropped. He's just lost it all at the bottom of the circuit. Slow corners always try and make up time in the slow corners.
Spend more time in the slow corners than the fast corners.
Absolutely. Absolutely right. Percentage terms. Siklari is still up by about 0.2 of a second. And if he has not seen the checkered flag, so if he can find that 0.2, if he can get down to 52.9, that could put him on the inside of row 3, maybe the outside of row 2. Here's Kevin Siklari with the McLaren coming to the line. Got to get this lap finished. The wait time is running down. He will get this lap in. It's the final chicane. Oh, big slide. What's that done to his time? He's still 0.2 up coming around the final corner. He's lost just a little bit, lost about 1/10 there. Could still move forward though to the line. And that was his best lap, 53.1.
Yeah, he missed it by 15,000th of a second.
Yeah, didn't move forward. That was that wiggle cost him a good 10th and a half there.
Yeah, 10th and a half exactly, and that was it. And he would have been up to 6th.
Yeah, session is over for the ADAC Professional Trophy. So we're going to grid the guys up as quickly as possible and try and get into the race, which is slated for 40 minutes.
40 minutes. Not sure
Yeah,
that's
that is the RGN
RGN
Rocket Sports colour scheme.
We were originally getting 40 minutes. Not sure whether there's been a slight adjustment to that due to the various little drifts we've had during the day.
Well, we'll tell you that in a moment because our live timing is going great guns at the moment. The McLaren looking resplendent in the pit lane in that white, yellow and black colour scheme.
All of them getting a virtual blick of paint. We are still down for a 40-minute race and a couple of minutes before the race starts. Just give a chance for everyone to set their fuel levels. There'll obviously no need for a pit stop and there'll be no need for a change of tyres in a 40-minute GT3 race.
Presumably, depending on the regs for this, depends whether you can change your setup as well between qualifying.
Yep. Normally you can. Normally you can just reload the second setup, but you know, there may be the rules that it's not going to happen. I mean, yeah, it's a possible. All the cars are on the line.
That's good.
There's normally I said with GT3 and GT4, it's normally a rolling start, but might not be this time.
No, I think given that nobody's in a grid box, I would say they're going to do a formation lap and come round to the start. So Baldwin on pole with 720 in the Jensen Button Rocket Sports colours. The Schoeniger Audi on the outside of the row. Then it's Pfeffer and Huben on row 3. Simonini and Wisniewski in the next row, on the third row, excuse me. Fourth row, Siklari for the McLaren. The second the McLaren, the white and blue car from Balzer, or alongside Balzer in the Audi. More Audis on row 5. Capoccia and Kita. And then Pinzers in that bright pink Bentley. The AMG at the back is the Hits car. It will be one formation lap, one green flag lap, if you will, and then a rolling start. 40 minutes on the clock. The excitement is palpable. You could cut the atmosphere with a cricket stump.
Yes. They've got a reasonable crowd have turned up, which is good to see.
Yeah, they've stayed. Yeah.
Stayed. Yeah. Nicely distant, some of them.
Yeah, very good. Actually, yeah, that's very good. That is very good. So just waiting for the cars to roll off in sim time, just coming at 2:30 in the afternoon.
What I'd like is to help my aid memoir. James Baldwin's car does have world fastest game right, just in case I forget again what he won about 18 months ago. And they roll away. Now, I'm not sure there's normally a pace car. Maybe it's a virtual pace car that they can see and we can't.
23, of course, the little joke, RGN, heavily involved in the Nissan GT Academy, and Nissan always took the number 23. It is a little joke because the numbers 2 and 3 in Japanese are Ni and San, although 23 wouldn't be. That would be the individual numbers, but that's always the little joke that Nissan played. So a very familiar number on cars with that colour scheme from RGM Rocket. So
full post lap.
Yeah. Quite steady pace that James is setting in the Jensen team, Rocket RGN.
Well, he's probably set to not exceed an average of 60 miles an hour, which does tend to be the pace lap speeds on these. One of the things I do like on some of the sims and some of the races, you get a short pace lap, so you don't have to do an entire lap.
So you start halfway around or something like that.
Le Mans, for example, you start just before the Porsche curves. You know, the straight from Arnage up there, you start up there.
Got you.
Which makes it much easier. But even some of the shorter circuits, you don't have to.
So on the first row it will be James Baldwin on the pit lane side from Dennis Schoeniger on the outside in the Audi. Then it's Pfeffer and Huben, 2 Audis on row 2, 3 Simonini in the Audi and Wisniewski in the Aston Martin. McLaren on the inside of row 4, Ciclari and Balta in the Audi. Then 2 Audis, Capoccia and Kita. Pincers in the pink Bentley and Hits at the back in the AMG. So waiting to see Dennis Schoeniger come up the left-hand side of that Rocket RJN McLaren. Should be sitting to the left-hand side. Paul on the right here. The pit wall side. 40 minutes on the clock, hasn't started yet. This is the formation lap for the ADAC Professional Trophy, live from the ADAC SimRacing Expo for 2021 at the Nürburgring, and at the Nürburgring for the Expo in reality, at the Nürburgring on the Grand Prix circuit in virtual reality. Nice looking lineup here. Now, I'm going to say right now, watch out for Huben in the 22. I expect that to be the car to make the big move. It's the silver and blue car coming to the final corner. Pit lane entry on the right-hand side. Paulson to James Baldwin, effectively becoming the pace car now. Lovely looking start. Any race director will be pleased with this. Staying on the grid markings as well, so there's a nice gap down through the middle. Now, when do we see James go and when do we get the green light? 40 minutes will start when we go across the line, which we do now. Green light from the race director. Great start from the outside of the front row from Dennis Schoeniger. He'll have a look round the outside, and here comes Huben as well. It's 2x2 into the first corner. Big dive, and there's a tap further back, but everybody continues. Well, that was a shame. I think that was Capoccia who tried to go around the outside, but will drop back just a wee bit. Now, the first part of Pullman's job, Nick Damon, is to get away off the line. Did so. Second part, get to the first corner for it first and keep it. Has done. And has got a scant 0.3 of a second lead over Dennis Schoeniger in second place. Good job then by the Porter.
Yeah, it was a great start. I thought for me he was going to get swamped, but he just seemed to have a little bit extra speed towards the back end. So it looks like the drive of some of the other cars was better from low speed. But the McLaren just picked it up at the back end and took the downhill section of turn 1, and a great bit of braking there. I must admit, it looked pretty good for a couple of the guys to come back up the inside. I mean, it was Schoeniger himself who I thought did a particularly good job at maintaining second place under quite a lot of pressure.
The pink and white Bentley Continental, Adam Pincers for Arnage competition, number 77, making moves up. Started in 11th from memory, already up to 9th. So he's been pretty clean at the start. It was Ciclari, I think, who got tipped around.
Well, Kevin was getting quite feisty, wasn't he, coming up the hill there? And he was thinking about trying to duck out and just dart about. But it's interesting you've got Bentley, Mercedes and McLaren. So 3 of the people who haven't gone for the obvious car getting caught out and towards the back of the field. It was, it was...
Black White Audi.
Black White Audi had a problem.
Kita.
Yeah, I think so, it was Keaton. But the interesting thing was it really ruined the progress of Ben Hitz, didn't it, as well, because he kind of had to avoid the kind of spinning and lost a lot of momentum. That's why they've been kind of a little bit cast adrift at the back. Yeah.
But it's a long race. We're 2.5 minutes in, barely. So now it's a question of keeping the tyres underneath the car. pit window opens in an hour and 17 minutes.
That's 40 minutes after the race finishes.
Yeah, excellent.
So this is your hit, your tip, your favourite for 22.
Yeah, he didn't make the rocket start that I was expecting, Ruben. Niklas. No further action between Simonini and Kita. So it was Kita that got bumped back.
Them going into this is different. This wasn't the first lap.
This is the second one, and that's under.
Coming into the Vorsteiner curve, wasn't the first time?
Yeah, that's under review as well.
Balzer running in 7th, right in the middle with the Audis, in the middle of an Audi sandwich. This is 4 in a row with Pfeffer from Simonini, from Balzer, from Capaccio, all offering 5, 6, 7 and 8. The central section of Audis, which of course is an issue. You get into a patch of traffic with quality drivers with the same chassis, more people get past. You haven't got a particular advantage or disadvantage of the car. You've just got a car that is the same. So unless you get a particularly good slipstream, and this isn't really a great track for slipstream, to be honest, you're going to have to try and force an error.
Balzer's Audi sounding phenomenal. I love that real crackle of the down change.
The sound on ACC is brilliant. They've got some really good sound, both internal and external. I think the external sound, the external sounds on the other games is very good as well. But certainly ACC's internal sounds are known as by far the most realistic, as stated by Proper Racing. But yeah, it sounds like it. That's a differential why I know so well.
Yeah,
that's how my gearbox braking.
Squeaky brakes as well, and what I also hear is the compressor for the touch, and the Aston's gone off.
Oh dear,
the Aston's gone off there. That was Wisniewski. Yeah, Pfeffer into Wisniewski, and that car has gone out. No further action between Capoccia and Balzer. That was the second incident that we saw side by side going down the hill to the Warsteiner curve. Now, Wisniewski's managed to hold on to that. I thought that was exit stage right for the Aston there.
He still scored 4th, but I don't think he is 4th.
Well,
there he is.
33.
He's a long way back. There's a lot more than 4 cars ahead of him.
7th now. Yeah, dropped down to 7th.
Obviously, we haven't hit the most recent sector yet, and he dropped down at that point.
Yeah, there he goes.
Through sector 1.
And he's down to 7th.
We gathered up better than I thought it would, because he was shooting
I thought he was in the wall. I thought he was in the wall there.
And in this quality of race, that's absolutely.
He did hit the wall.
That is Pfeffer's fault, to be honest. Not vindictive. It was an error, but obviously they have got damage turned off, which would make it a better race for the 40 minutes, because that would obviously a big impact of the ball. That would move Wisniewski out of play as it is. He's just lost 3-4 seconds. And giving us a great replay.
Ruben then for Rutronic, 3rd position, half a second away from 2nd through the through the NGK. I'm so unused to seeing these cars going through so quickly at the end of the lap, and he's gaining on the leader.
There was a lovely pit stops. Perhaps it is damaged. Perhaps he does need to repair it. So it's not showing visible damage outside. Oh no, DT drive-through.
Drive-through penalty.
For something earlier on.
Yeah, I wonder if that was a jump start.
Must have been, yeah.
Yeah, DT drive-through, sorry. We were waiting to see Darren Turner get in that car, obviously, as it was an Aston Martin.
I hope we're getting on board with the Audi. I was just watching that. They've done some fantastic modelling on the windscreen wiper.
Yeah.
No, not only does it shake with the speed, as you go around the corner, it lifts correctly. It's amazing. Yeah. I'm loving this.
No, all very good. Rutronic, 22. Nicholas. Now let's go back down to the bottom end of the top 10. 9th position for Luca Kita. He's just taken that from Ben Hitz.
Yeah. Ben delayed in that incident on the first lap, which was involving Luca Kita, but it looks like he hasn't got the basic speed. And also, it's those in the Sakari hasn't managed to turn up that McLaren like Baldwin has.
I do love the fact, as I was saying before the Aston went off, that you're going to hear the compressor on the engine overrun. You hear the compressor for the pneumatic gear shift charging the air reservoir back up again. Really cool, very good indeed. So coming down to 33 minutes still to go, and here's how it stands. Baldwin by now 1.2 seconds from Dennis Schoeniger in 2nd, Niklas Huben in 3rd, Tom Pfeffer in 4th, Simonini in 5th, and the top 6 made up with Mark Balzer, who is only another, 2 seconds further back. That's the biggest gap in the top 6. And as I say that, Pfeffer's just dropped away a little bit from the back of Huben.
Well, of course, the real key thing about the top 7, John, is 6 of them are Audis, apart from the leader.
Yeah.
The Audis have shuffled their way past the lone Bentley, the lone Mercedes, and the lone Aston Martin. That was more kind of a self-inflicted problem with the drive-through, and the second McLaren. So this choice of Audi by a number of the drivers does seem to be the correct one.
Has Wisniewski come back out again in the Aston? He has.
Yeah, I think he rejoined.
Yes, okay. Just hasn't completed that lap yet. So battle then for 7th position.
Yeah, love tap. Andrea Capocchia gave a little bit of a love tap to Balzer.
Further back down the field a moment ago on the Huizingveld replay. Second McLaren going very, very wide indeed. Coming out of that chicane. That is very quick now, that final chicane at NGK. That's normally a big stand on the brakes, hammer the curbs, touring car style-y. But now it seems to be probably down 1, maybe 2 gears, but that's all. And then get the car straightened up and floor it. Yeah,
especially the directional, the good directional change you get in a GT3. You've got a lot of front end in these cars, so you can flick them left and right despite the weight. I think we saw with the TCRs yesterday, they were having a little bit of problem making the left right, weren't they? And a lot of them, the second part of that chicane was giving them some issues.
Yeah, that was Kevin Sinclair, by the way, in the second of the McLarens. The first of the McLarens is out in front by now 1.3 seconds. Took a couple of tenths out of Dennis Schoeniger in second place. Take a look at the battle for 6th now, with Capocchia and Balzer ahead. No further action, by the way, on that 3rd incident we saw hit to Luca Kita. Now, what will happen, though, when we get to the Aston incident? That was Tom Pfeffer, wasn't it? And Wisniewski, Niklas Wisniewski. So, Capocchia for GTWR RHG Academy. Not close enough there to get the draft, but will the car come alive in the second half of the front straight? Pulls to the inside, shows the nose of his Audi into the mirrors of Balzer. There's a change of lead. Dennis Schoeniger's gone through, so that must have been a mistake by Baldwin. He was 2 seconds up the road. Brilliant spot by our director there, and the dark green Audi is ahead of the Jensen Button helmet coloured Rocket RJN McLaren.
Wow.
And Huben's right there as well. That's your top 3, Nick.
That's a major surprise. It seemed to me very much like Baldwin was drifting away quite happily, pulling out a couple of tenths a lap. He's made a major error, probably from where they are in the lap. It may be he just got a problem at turn 1, perhaps overshot. But and now he's paying the price. Dennis gets into the lead, and more importantly to say, he's got Nico, who I still decided now is your man for the entire race, John. In the 22 Audi, Niklas Huben, who's now on his tail. But I think what's happening now, Baldwin's now showing his speed. And look on the inside, lunges straight on the inside and goes straight back again as they go through the. They had to sweep through the. That was a run up, wasn't it? That was actually coming up for the second part of the Michael Schumacher S, wasn't it? Before they go into the left right here before they go downhill again.
So how did he lose it? Answer provided by the Huizingveld.
Too much curb.
Hang on. Haven't we seen a McLaren doing exactly the same thing just a couple of laps ago?
Come off the exit, too much curb. And one of my favourite things when we were commentating past, John, we were doing 4-wheel drive buggies, and you pointed out that if none of the wheels were on the ground, it didn't matter how many wheels you had driven.
Correct.
And that was it. He had both. He was pulling on the lock, but the wheels went on the ground, so therefore he just went on the grass.
Yeah. And he's now giving a big aerodynamic slipstream tow to Dennis Schoeniger in second place. Niklas Huben in 3rd. And Nico Wisniewski is still on the track, by the way. He's dropped 20 seconds off the back of the field. And we're still waiting to hear from race control about that incident from Tom Pfeffer and Nico Wisniewski. And Wisniewski himself, subject of a drive-through penalty at the start of the race. Schoeniger, second place. R8G Esport, the dark green car with the bright yellow flashes on the wing end plates and the front edges of the front splitter, or the splitter rather than the diffuser.
Exactly, yes.
Yeah.
Is that near the front nose?
Don't. I heard somebody
I got told
in
off.
Formula
I
One
got
saying
very
that the
told
other
off
day.
about that a couple of weeks ago. I got by response for that.
Yeah.
So James Baldwin, having made that error, then made up for that error, is now beginning to ease away again, just shy of 0.6 of a second ahead. But the real battle is this one on screen now for second and third, and Schoninger and Nico Huben, both in Audis. Now Nico's really just sat there. Nicolas is just sat there, waiting for Huben, waiting for Schoninger to make a mistake.
I tell you what, you know, I want to keep an eye on Simonini and Balta, 5th and 6th.
Are they
I think Simonini. Sorry, it's Pfeffer first and Simonini. They're together. They were over 2 seconds back, and they are just gradually.
Yes, you're
pulling
right.
them
They
back.
are getting a couple of attempts here and there. I think that it is Dennis. It's Dennis Schoninger who's the cork in the bottle, because if you look at how Baldwin's pulling away, and you look at how hard he's trying to be escaped by Huben, if you look, go back down to the rear of the field, and it's Nikita trying desperately to get past Ben Hitz. These two have been battling the entire race, haven't they? From the first corner, Mercedes against Audi, front engine V8 against mid-engine V10.
Normally aspirated V10 at that for the Audi.
Yeah.
They refused point blank to go turbocharge. Very late braking using the ABS. Trail braking all the way into the corner, of course. That's the way you make these cars rotate, and then you get on the throttle, balance it on the way out.
Try not to trigger the ABS, of course. Get as close as you can.
No. Actually,
Really?
well, okay. In real world GT3s, there's a little blue light on the top of the dashboard. Certainly was for the Aston Martin that I tested at Monte Blanco, and you have to be in the ABS or you're not braking efficiently.
Oh, right, okay.
And it needs to be on all the way up to the apex. That's what I was told.
Well, that's race ABS for you.
Yeah, well, nowadays, yeah.
So that, back to the second and third battle again. Nicholas Huben. Absolutely stalking. You almost feel the Jaws theme, can't you, as he follows him round, but not yet made a move. Dennis Schoninger, sorry.
Schoninger.
Was that an I?
Yes, it is.
I've read that as an L. That's why there's a problem with it.
Schoninger.
Sorry, Dennis.
Yeah, no, that's all right. And this battle, though, at the bottom end of the top 10, Ben Hitz for Haupt Racing Team Esports. And the number 4 has to be an AMG, doesn't it, for HRT. Oh, good run here by Kita in the Audi. Goes to the inside for the chicane. There's not a big enough braking point there now, is there, to make that a passing point? So it needs to stay right under the not inconsequential rear wing and rear end of that AMG, which punches a huge hole in the air. It has a much bigger frontal area. And here comes Kevin Ciclari as well.
The drive off the corner for the Merc was better than it was for the Audi.
Yeah. Very interesting.
I know obviously under power the gaps do shrink and grow, but even so, he had a little bit more extra drive off the corner to move up to the middle of the field now.
For those that don't know, the Audi in street car terms, most of the Audi R8, although there is a rear-wheel drive only, but most of them are quattro, not allowed in the race. So they are rear-wheel drive only. Audi did do a special GT model that was rear drive only.
Very popular. The thing to remember, of course, is that the Mercedes, whilst we say it's front engine, it's front mid. The engine, the engine is behind the front axle line.
Long way behind.
So they are actually, in true terms, both mid-engine cars. Just one's rear mid, one's front mid.
Yeah, it's in front of the driver.
It is.
But the driver sits quite a long way back.
You have a massive bonnet to look over.
Yes, you do.
It's not quite the panels, but it's not far off.
No, well, I remember David Brabham telling me about the front-engine Panos Roadster, that his backside was pretty much in line with the diff. That's how far back in that car he was. And he found that, all drivers found that quite difficult because of exactly about the pendulum effect. This battle's still going on, and Luca Kita just can't get close enough. And here comes Kevin Ciclari in the McLaren, the white and blue car, sitting in 11th position at the moment. And by the way, Nico Wisniewski is also gaining on these guys quite significantly. He took half a second out of this battle last time around. This is what happens. These cars are so closely matched, Nick.
Done it. both of them to too much curb. There's a big tank slapper as well.
Luca Keita
Luca
off.
Keita, he backed out very, very late there. I think he just needs to be a little bit more assertive. And in backing out, he put himself slightly offline, did the same problem of taking too much curb. We saw James Baldwin earlier, and at that point, you just don't have the ability to put the right hand down, and you're off.
James Baldwin, by the way, has stretched his lead at the front back to the 1.5 seconds or thereabouts that he had before that incident when he went off. He lost the lead to Dennis Schoeniger. He fought back, got the lead back. And I would say, though, however, Nicholas Heuben is still right there. So the battle at the front of the field is Schoeniger and Heuben, with Pfeffer
remaining 1.75 seconds
he just
behind.
Can't seem to get that much closer. He lost half a second last time around.
They're all good drivers. They're all driving Audis. Where are you going to find the difference? What difference can you make against a track they know so well? It's this is the problem. Baldwin obviously has found an absolute sweet spot, and he's pulling away. I think does that change of position?
That's Balzer and Capocia.
No,
they were 6th and 7th.
They
before
still
they
are.
were
Yeah,
6th and 7th.
Yeah, there was an attempt there by Capocia to take Balzer in part of his. That's the back end of the Audi train. 6 cars running from 2nd to 7th, all Audi R8 LMS V10 Evo 1s. Just Evo, I suppose it was called, wasn't it?
Yeah. Andrea Capocia, GTWR R8G Academy. He's going to know the back end of that Audi in front.
Andrea Capocia, he was a gymnast in the Italian First Division, so he broke his shoulder 3 years ago. Poor lad.
Well, you've had shoulder problems.
I've had, yeah. It's like
a difficult joint to get sorted.
It's the most complicated joint in the body, and it's one that he's got it. He's waiting, isn't he? He's waited a bit there. Oh no, he hasn't. He gave him a massive tank slapper. Now he's waiting. I think that was that.
So is that self-restitution?
I think Andrea's worked out. He could have had 2 advantages on that and didn't take either of them.
The problem, well, let's nip back up front to the battle for 6. Mark Balzer for Rutronic has got his wing mirrors, or door mirrors, full of Andrea Capocia still, and Capocia still looking for a way around in the red, white and black Audi. And gaining on them now is Pinzas. Adam Pinzas on the car that is the easiest to spot, the pink and white Bentley Continental. So we're coming down to half distance. It's Paul Sitter, James Baldwin leading.
Keep it up.
On board there, it's a long race, keep it up. Yes, of course it is. 1.6 seconds for Baldwin ahead of Schoeniger at the top of the field. Well, as you rejoin us, although we did go side by side there, so you haven't missed anything. No further action between Hitz and Keita for the race control. But Schoeniger has now dropped. Remember, I said it was 1.3 seconds. It's now 2 seconds. Here's an incident that's... that was the battle for 6, wasn't it? That was Balzer, Capocia and Pinzas. And...
The Bentley got completely taken out.
And not not, I'm afraid, Adam Pince's fault at all there. And he's really lost out there. It was Capoccia who started that by hitting the back of Balta, Matt Balta, Andrea Capoccia. And Adam Pince's in that brightly coloured Bentley, coming off the worst. So now the battle is for second, with Schoenigen unable to match the pace of James Baldwin out front. 3/10 last time around. And Huben took a tenth and a bit out of Schoenigen. So this is the battle for second. On the front straight now, with just coming down to 17 minutes to go.
Huben, again, he's just not fast enough off the corner, is he? It's interesting that he can just follow Schoenigen so closely, but it's just not quite to get there. I think possibly because there's still, 15 minutes, 16 minutes to go, he's biding his time, but I would think if he wants to have a chance of winning, he's got to get past now. And if he carries this thing behind a couple of laps, he's best is second. So I would hope with ambition to see him through. Back with Sakari running in 10th. He's got Luke Keita right behind him. He's once again trying to have a go at Ben Hitz.
Well, that's a big hit.
That's a Ben Hitz, isn't it? Absolutely. He's hit Ben Hitz, and that one is not going to get away without some severe conversation with the stewards.
He stopped and self-restitution. He might get away with it because of that. However, it doesn't give Ben Hitz the position or the road back.
That's exactly. He's still lost the time. He's now 4 seconds behind Princes, or actually more than that. We haven't had the timing update just yet. 8 seconds behind, sorry, Princes. So yeah, he lost 5 or 6 seconds. Sakari, though, as you said, self-police, so he might avoid an instant with.
That's very RC racing. That's something that you know very well, isn't it?
You stop and you wait, and at that point, because these aren't deliberate either. That's but it's you stop, you wait. You carry on, but of course, effectively, you've both been disadvantaged by one person's mistake. But in many ways, that's racing. What else can you do?
And they're saying change position, Adam Pinces and Giorgio Simoni. Well,
that's quite hard because Simoni's now 4 places above Pinces.
Yeah, that's a big problem. That was much earlier on. Simonini, excuse me, and Pinces. Well, how does that work?
It wasn't Simonini who spun Pinces round, was it?
It was the 149 and 77.
He was way ahead of it. It was.
I think that was an earlier incident.
Right, okay, right. So we're back further, are we?
Risk control have been busy,
yes,
and we're working through. Yes. The last incident that we're talking about was
Sakari going into the back
down turn 1, and the McLaren just piles straight into the back of the AMG. Now he does slow down in the blue and white McLaren,
but the big winner. Scurrying away, Luca Keita.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Scurried round Mercedes. It must be when you win these races, Jonathan. Because it's virtual, so you haven't got to worry about yellow flags or safety cars. You sit there and go, yes.
Well, there are yellow flags coming out here. You see them at the side of the track. I'm most impressed with that. Let's go back to this battle for second and third, where they are now 3.5 seconds away from James Baldwin, who has
side by side
down at the bottom of the circuit. Plunging downhill.
Schoenigen tried it through the Valvoline curve. Side by side through the Valvoline, a little short link for the four-curve, but having the inside line serves Schoenigen well.
Now, who's got the Porties up the hill? Should be fairly even, these cars. You'd hope so.
Drive. Both of them have stayed the same.
Just skirt your right-hand Pirelli tyres as they are on these cars. Right on the edge of the gravel trap there. Do I detect a little more understeer from Niklas Huben's Audi, the 22 car? Now that might be a little bit of
aero wash.
A little bit of aero wash.
They're not horrendously. They're not horrendously bad. It's not like running P cars, but you do get a little bit of aero understeer. And interestingly, Kevin Siklari has managed to get away with a penalty with Ben Hitz because that waiting incident. But it's Luca was the winner out of that. But yeah, fair enough. He waited. What else can you do? This, people make mistakes. Obviously, just misjudgment, not deliberate. So move on with it, isn't it? Really.
So, a little bit of aero wash for the cars in the wheel tracks when you're trying to make a move to the final corner. This is the battle for 8th and 9th. Nikita for Belgian Audi Club, Team WRT, real world team of course. WRT having a great run in prototype racing in ELMS and WEC of course, as they're trying to put themselves in pole position for one of the new Audi LMDHs, which is coming in the next year or so. They'll be racing them in 2023, but
kind of feeling their performance at Le Mans kind of made that kind of
foregone
conclusion. Really,
almost had first and second, didn't they? Should have had first.
One lap off first and second, and
Vincent Voss's team, of course, in just outside Liège, a little bit further up from Liège in Belgium, and they've done a cracking job. Also, by the way, I'm not sure how many people know this, they build all of the tube frame chassis for the VW Fun Cup cars.
I didn't know. So you told me that like I think a year ago, and I've been watching Fun Cup for years. And originally, I just thought they were cut down Beetles. I didn't realise they were.
No, it's a full tube frame
race cars with
centre seat race car.
1.8 Golf GTI engines.
Well, it's a 1.8 VAG, yeah. So non-turbo. So it's the non-turbo 1.8 that you used to get in the Audi TTs, Golf, etc. Petrol engine. And it's a very, very well put together.
The engine that was in the original former Palmer Audi?
Yes, but I think it was turbocharged in that.
Oh, I have to get Jonathan
Have to have Damien Faulkner.
Absolutely. Nicholas again is trailed Dennis round for the entire lap. Just getting a bit of a run off. I'm not quite sure what happened. We didn't see the start of the incident when they got side by side. Why he got such a good drive out the exit of the Mercedes arena and got side by side. But again, they are matching each other. He has been getting down the straight, he gains a little bit, and then of course in the corners he loses a little bit from the aero situation.
Baldwin last time around a slow lap. Now he's not in traffic, so that was a mistake. He was a good 1.3, 1.4 seconds slower, and his lead now still considerable, but it's just sitting around about 2.5 seconds. So let's check next time around. James Baldwin, see what his lap of 1:55.6 was way slower than it should have, and he's slow again in the first part of this lap, showing his delta time is showing down with 10.5 minutes and a few seconds left. Now what's happened is Baldwin used his tyres. 15 laps under the Pirellis. Battle for second and third rages on between Schoeniger in
closer this time.
That's a great run by Hooven.
Now he has tried a couple of times into the Michelin curve, which is after the Schumacher S, going around here, and then you come up the hill, and he's tried in there a couple of times.
Tough corner this one,
but he's actually during that uphill section he actually lost a bit of time.
I think he took too much curb through the Schumacher S's, or not enough. always a toughie, isn't it? No doubt to me, though, that James Baldwin is losing time at the front of the field. We'll see what it is next time around. Despite the fact that these two guys are battling, they're not actually holding each other up too much because they're following each other.
We're 32 minutes down, so 31 minutes down, a 40-minute race. The only reason that would be is almost certainly tyre wear.
Yeah. If
it may just be that James decided to relax a little bit and not to push right to the limit, though. He's done a 1:47, I think, last time round. Not a great lap for him last time.
No, 1:55. 1:55 last time around. 1:55.5.
1:45.
So he's found that second again. So he lost a second in a bit.
Lost 3/10. He's lost 3/10 to battling drivers.
Yeah.
And they are battling. He's looking at it now. They're as close as they can be without coming together. So James, it could be tyres, it could be relaxing, but there's certainly a pattern in the last couple of laps where that excellent lead he eked out very efficiently through laps 5 to 12 is coming back again.
The other good battle is Siclari and Hiltz. Hitz in 9th in the red, white and black AMG. The white McLaren right up his tailpipes, going down into turn 1. They turn hard right-handed, drop into the dip, round out the right-hand side of the splitter.
Then Hitz, who's done some racing for Envision Virgin for their sim team.
Formula E team, of course. Great season for them, crowned by the multi-race championship finale, going in both directions on the Berlin airfield.
Not at the same time, though.
Oh, that would have been so much better.
That would have, but it still wouldn't have had much carnage compared to a normal Formula E race.
Well, true. Nothing could compare with the Docklands race in the UK. But I think that was as much down to the track design as anything else. Lessons were learned when I spoke to people who know. So lap comparison then between the two cars battling.
First and second comparison.
Yeah.
23. And as we said, he lost a couple of tenths in that lap after losing a second the lap before. He's just lightly eking it out again by about a tenth this lap.
Did Huben get through that? It was Schoeniger, and I didn't see Huben behind him.
Not sure.
Wait till he goes through the next split. Niklas Huben. I'll tell you that in a moment. Sakari.
McLaren.
It's an interesting dashboard. Far more information than anybody needs there.
Very little the information is blanked out for our view. For example, he'd have all sorts of tyre information on there, which we're not seeing because it would be information for other drivers. When he looks at it, there's your answer. Nicholas is once again as close as he could possibly be to Dennis. But
Nicholas must have been so close I couldn't see him.
He was hiding basically.
Yes.
You gave a low down angle and you just couldn't see any car at all. But yeah, when you see the onboard dashes on virtual racing coverage, they were effectively blank out the numbers because it's, apart from gear and speed, which is commonly known, because of the other information, tyre wear and tyre temperature and fuel left, is obviously competitive information you don't want to give to your rivals.
Brake right into the apex, feed the throttle in from the right hander at the bottom of the hill at Dunlop. Now, this is where he's been losing out through Schumacher. See if we can work out why. He seemed all right there. I think that's possibly the best we've seen him go through Schumacher, under the bridge and braking into this tricky left-hander at the top of the hill. I hate that corner.
I think with these cars being so balanced, I think the relaxed chicane, much so we love the speed, and it has caused me. I think it's taking away the major overtaking point.
Yeah.
Because if you can get it alongside, you will force the other guy to make a decision.
Correct.
And you can't with the sweeping chicane, you can't do that. So they're having to really hope for the best into turn one, and it's just not happening currently.
Also, I would say it's high speed enough, the entry to it, that it's difficult to follow. So the car behind's just losing out in the middle section. Although this is a very good exit by Huben. He's as close as he's been down towards the first corner. But wow, Schoeniger. I wonder if Schoeniger's running a little more skinny, not running as much wing, and that's why he's getting maybe a couple of Ks of speed down the front straight.
Overnight not going to work there, so he's not going to get through the. He's not going to get through the.
It's brave. You have to be brave.
Thinking about it, I mean, it might just be that Nicholas decided there's no way I'm going to beat James, as James beats himself, just ball win the lead. So I will wait for a last lap lunge and see what I can do. There's showing he's just really not put a wheel wrong. I've not seen him make a mistake so far, and that's made it virtually impossible for Nicholas to find any way through. We had them side by side through this section of the track a couple of laps ago, which is the Valvoline curve, the Ford curve, before they plunged downhill to Dunlop. But that's as close as it gets. We get a little bit of love for our leader, James Baldwin, all bar 2 laps he's made a mistake. So one we saw when he just took too much curb on the NGK chicane, the relaxed version, and another lap where he lost a second as well, which could be for any reason. But he has, once in clear air, pulled back out of here. He's 3.5 seconds ahead.
I raced the relaxed version of Valet at Silverstone in the Classic, but I do think it's nice that Silverstone named the final chicane just before Club after Valentino Rossi. It's been that for years and nobody's really noticed. It does make a huge difference to the track and how you drive, and particularly how you attack Club, and therefore how much quicker you get down to the first corner after the Formula 1 start-finish straight.
Yes, yeah,
because you are going a lot quicker.
Usually, 25 miles an hour more probably?
Yeah, about a little bit less than that in what I was driving. Don't forget, it was only a little 2-litre 4-cylinder BMW engine Chevron that I was driving down there. But it was, you arrived there pretty rapidly. Things were happening quickly, even in the wet. I can't tell you which way this is going to go. 3.5 minutes to go. Baldwin still leads. James with the now 4-second lead. Schoeniger in second position. Dennis is holding off Nico Huben.
Under braking, he gets so close every time. It stretches. It's between 0.2 and 0.4. About 0.2 is as close as you can be without being actually in the boot of the car ahead. And the 0.4 is when
engine
you're
compartment.
Absolutely right. There is a definite advantage to Dennis under drive. He's got a definite leap off, which again it could be a setup situation, but over the lap, as we can see, it's no advantage. He has got that initial oomph, and it is not just the elasticized band of acceleration, because the time goes up, the gap goes up as well.
I do love the fact that what we're seeing is exactly what we would be seeing if we were looking at a GT3 race.
Yes.
Because the tiny little differences, the cars are ostensibly the car's performance is identical. You will change that with tiny little setup tweaks, You will change it with how you drive it, but these guys are so good and so consistent. If the driver ahead does not make a mistake, how are you going to find your way through? And therefore, those little setup differences, we're talking about fractions of a percent here and there. They're making their lap times slightly differently, but ultimately lap times are about the same.
Yeah.
And that's the essence of BOP as well, of course. It's not about everybody getting the same lap time in the same way and having the same speed in every corner. It's about balancing that performance over a number of laps, or over a stint average, over a race, so that we can get some great racing. Because there's always going to be, between the different manufacturers, there's always going to be strengths and weaknesses, and it should be that.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is why when you see new versions or new cars brought out, they never say they're going to be faster. They say they're going to be easier to drive, they're going to have a wider operating window, and they're kinder on the tyres.
And better to service.
Yeah, because they realise there's no point making things faster. They'll just get balanced back to where they were. But if you can make them...
Do you believe that, though?
No, of course not.
No.
Come on, we've been doing this 25 years now. Of course I don't believe it.
Nick, you said that with such belief. And if anybody could have seen your face here at the Radio Show Limited Global Broadcast Centre, they would have absolutely believed you. Just until I asked you that, and you feel the whole face and your demeanour and your shoulders and everything changed. Down to the last 1 minute and 20 seconds now. 80 seconds before time elapses. That 40 minutes has disappeared very quickly indeed.
Yeah, and we still have a couple of stories. I gotta say, how's Luca Keita end up back behind? And I think the hits and I think he must have made a little mistake, as they get very close during the exit of the Mercedes arena there.
Nico Wisniewski, who had the drive-through and got a bit of a hit as well, let's remember. So
21 back, wasn't he?
He's still only 47 seconds off the leader, and now he's only 6 seconds off not being last. So that's been a good drive.
15 back in about 15 laps. He's about a second of laps faster than this trio we see on the screen now.
Yeah.
With the Aston Martin. And of course, we haven't really got any way of benchmarking him because there are no other Aston Martins. We do know that Nikodem Wisniewski is a very, very good driver. So my guess is he's been going very, very quickly. Baldwin now is going to, I think, just creep into an extra lap. There's 14 seconds to go. And he's going to cross the line. He's going to be very, very close. I think he's going to just get over for one more lap.
All right,
that's the line there.
Final lap. Give me the final push.
Final lap. So this is the final push from the engineer, but this is the last lap for everyone.
It's that virtual engineer, that is, of course.
What's happened off screen is that suddenly Dennis has pulled 3/4 of a second on Nicholas and Sayers. So second and third is not as close as it was. My guess is, because Nick's been getting more and more aggressive over the chicane, that possibly he's just gone a little bit too hard going for him.
Well, we worried about the tyres on Jim Baldwin's car, and we shouldn't have. He's on his last lap. We haven't seen much of him because, frankly, other than when he made that one mistake and dropped down to second for, half a lap, it wasn't even a full lap when Dennis Schoening had got through. Here comes that battle for 9th, 10th and 11th, starting their final lap with... It looks like Luca Keita's got down the inside at turn 1. Yes, he has. So back up into 10th for Luca. Sakari down to 11th. They feel this one's going to the line, don't you? You really do. The McLaren sitting in behind the Audi and the Mercedes. Good free manufacturer battle there. 2 German marks winning out. But at the front of the field, James Baldwin, in the similar car, the Rocket RJN Esports machine, has pulled out to 6 seconds. He's done a cracking job. And the British manufacturer with the British driver, world's fastest gamer 2, is going to bring this one home. The Union flag flying high. Comes to the last corner of the last lap with the 40 minutes having elapsed, and it will be a win for McLaren, for Rocket RGN Esports. Jensen team Rocket RGN goes across the line. It's going to be over 5 seconds. As to the line in second position. Schoening has gone through. Huben in third. Fourth for Simonini, Tom Pfeffer in 5th. I think they actually ever swapped positions, didn't they? Balzer in 6th, Pinces in 7th, Capoccia, and then this battle hits Kita Siklari coming to the line, and it will just be Ben Hitz who takes 9th from Luka Kita and Kevin Siklari. Nico Wisniewski just 5 seconds behind them, and now change of position for 77 and 150. So that's Pinces and Capoccia. So that is race control as the checkered flag is out. Let's congratulate. That doesn't affect the first 3, and this is important. So the win after 22 laps of 40 minutes, James Baldwin for McLaren in the 23 Jensen Rocket RGN Esports team. Schoeniger in 2nd for Audi. Dennis Schoeniger in 2nd, had a race-long battle with Nico Huben in 3rd position. Niklas Huben, excuse me, in the Audi. Those will be the 3 cars, or the 3 drivers who are on the podium, and that's where we will go next as Melly speaks to the top 3, and we have the podium ceremonies for the ADAC Professional Trophy at the ADAC 2021 Sim Expo at the Nürburgring.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, with our first prize giving here live on stage. And I'm very, very excited. As already stated before during the SIMMY Awards, I love handing out prizes. But for that, I'm obviously not alone. I have my co-hosts with me, Danny Juza and Johannes Stuck. Thank you so much for joining me. And I mean, the Sim Racing Professional Trophy is over.
It was a blast. It was a really great race. What do you think?
Well, yeah, absolutely. It was a blast all the way through and hard fights. And at the end of the day, I think a well-deserved winner.
And I must say, I mean, look at those beauties. I really like the trophy design. Obviously, we know what we're seeing here. And we do have some shacks as well. And
€2.
say again?
€2.
€2?
Yeah.
I think there are a couple more zeros behind that too. But I would say, let's introduce our winners, right? Let's introduce our podium. So I would say, please, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the third place in Sim Racing Professional Trophy, Niklas Huben. It's your honor to hand over the check. So there we go.
Yes.
Guys, make some noise! Niklas Huben!
Oh.
All right, just take... I mean, there is a...
Don't forget the trophy. Trophies are nice, checks are nice. No, but, you know.
This is so messy. I was actually planning on lining them up all next to each other over there. But let's move over. We're going to talk a bit later. Don't jump the gun, Danny. Don't jump the gun, it's fine. We're not done just yet because we have a couple more people to have on the podium, right? So please, second place for Dennis Schöniger. Congratulations. And last but not least, and obviously the champion of the Sim Racing Professional Trophy, please put your hands together for James Baldwin. So there you
Let's
go.
get the check.
So many things.
Trophy.
And the trophy. There we go. And you have a microphone as well. You guys know how to handle checks and trophies. I can tell. But yes, this is our podium. And once again, please put your hands together for our top 3 of the Sim Racing Professional Trophy. And yes, James. James, what's happening? The microphone is on. You can ask.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, you can talk to me. Well, congratulations. The Sim Racing Professional Trophy is yours.
Yeah.
First place. How does it feel?
It was great. I'm relieved, to be honest, because I went off twice. I don't know if anyone saw that. Yeah, good pace. Did a lot of prep. The rigs, they're very challenging because they move a lot. Yeah. So it took a lot of adapting, but no, it was good fun. Close race. Enjoyed it.
But that's the idea behind the moving rigs, you know? Just kidding.
Yeah.
But yes, I mean,
They call me out.
Great performance. And as already said, absolutely deserved. Congratulations. I mean, you got a nice check, a nice trophy. But not only
Not
you.
bad.
Exactly. It's not bad. It's something you could take home, right?
Well, I don't know if I'll get it through the luggage.
We'll make it work.
We'll fold it.
We'll make it work somehow. We can mail it to you.
Yeah, we'll talk about that after.
Exactly. We'll take care about that afterwards. But as already said, Dennis and Niklas, congratulations to you too. P2, P3.
Thanks a lot.
How was it racing in front of a live audience next to a stage, the lights shining on you?
It was overwhelming. I just had a heartbeat probably constantly over 170, having Niklas right behind me all the time. One time, James did a little mistake through the chicane. I took the lead from him, but then did a massive mistake through the Schumacher S and lost a lot of pressure on the right side, on the right tires, and struggled with that till the end of the race. So, but awesome effort from Niklas, staying behind me all the time, nearly without any mistakes. I loved it.
I was about to say, like the gap between you two was fairly close, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was behind me all the time.
Yeah. Niklas chasing down Dennis. finishing on P3. How does it make you feel here at the ADAC SimRacing Expo?
Well, to be honest, now I'm more nervous than in the race. I don't know, it just feels amazing. The pace was really good. I did no mistake. The guys in front of me were doing mistakes. I just tried to stay ahead, Tobias and Giorgio behind me, so I did not even try to attack, so we could easily go away, or more or less easily go away in the front. And maybe if he does some mistakes, to attack in the end, but it was not possible. But I'm very happy with P3.
I think so too, right? I mean, even like having the opportunity to finally be on a LAN event and race in front of audience, I think, and also taking home a trophy. That's a nice doing there. So you guys can be proud of yourself. But I think Danny has a question or two.
So James, 5,000 euros. How do you invest them? Towards your next racing year? Like getting a...
Well, me and my girlfriend just bought a house, so it does help.
Oh, that's well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, as you say, it's really nice to be at an event because of COVID. We've not been able to do it for a long time. So, I really enjoyed being back in front of, like, I suppose, an audience. Yeah. Nice buzz.
So, and how are your pants going? After the two time you were going? What was it? Had you, like, an issue with the turn-in, or you just missed the apex, or your...
Well, I found in practice at home that curb could be a bit dodgy.
Yeah.
And with these rigs, it's not something I'm used to, so I felt like I had a little bit less control than at home.
So you have at home a static rig?
Sorry?
You have a static rig at home?
Yeah, and I just misjudged it in the curb. The McLaren's quite a low car, and just clipped the curb. And yeah, you saw what happened. I did it twice. I should have, after the first time, back off a bit. But yeah, I got away with it, so yeah.
You just made it for the show, right? So both came closer again?
I wish I could say that, but no.
Just roll with it.
So Nicholas, we know each other quite for a long time now, and you moved from ACC in the National League to the big international stage. And I think it's the first time you earned so much money in the competition.
That's probably true, yeah.
Yeah, how does it feel, like coming from like amateur leagues, progressing through the ranks, and now earning money with sim racing?
Good question. To be honest, I just drive. I don't really care about the big things around me. Just try to stay focused, try to race, give my best, and yeah, worked out pretty well today, I think.
Yeah, it was a really good show. I think you both had like 40 minutes of airtime, so basically you provided a good show. And then it's, how was it? So you all race in the GT World Series, and did you change anything on your setup because you have no ballast here, or?
Actually, I used a complete new setup, just finding some ways for me, with the big help of Giorgio and the rest of the team helping. Everyone was helping, so just to get here. So the effort of the team was amazing, and we just loved it to be here.
Yeah, amazing. That's cool that everybody helped you to just push you forward. And so sadly for you, being the fastest already on the track. So yeah, great show.
Thanks.
Yeah, so guys, I also have a question. Obviously, it took quite long till we got the race started, unfortunately. How did you keep yourself like on the pump with the adrenaline? Was that also an issue for you to get back up to speed when the race actually started, or was that fine for you?
Not really. Like, we weren't there that long, like half an hour. Had my apple juice. So, yeah, kept hydrated. Yeah, it was fine. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really practice on any other rigs here because they were different games, cars, tracks. I just made sure the last time I drove anything was that, and it seemed to work. So, yeah.
But I mean, I think it can be quite challenging sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for the race to start. So, are there any mechanisms in place for you where you keep yourself together? So, mindset-wise, can you hand over anything to your fans?
Yeah, just don't like overthink it. Just don't make it too serious, you know. Ideally, you'd be talking to someone over a headset, you know, at home, your friend, your teammate. In this situation, I was just on my phone. Just chill out, because if you overthink it, you're going to turn one all stiff, and then you make a mistake, and yeah. So.
How is it for you guys? How do you handle downtime in between races?
Maybe just some relaxing between the races. Of course, taking some days off. But starting early enough to practice again for the weeks for the races. I actually need quite a lot of time to get into a track again, but of course it works. So I'm here.
Yeah, exactly. I was
Happy as fuck.
could go worse. That's true. But Niklas, how's it for you? How much time do you invest per week into your professional career?
That depends pretty much on the events. On the last weeks, not that much actually. I'm pretty much well prepared on this track. I have a great setup. I just love the track. I'm pretty good at it, I think. And it was probably even less than the most time. About 20 hours a week.
Okay. All right. So, any questions left on our side?
Well, actually, I thought it maybe be a great idea and a great opportunity for the guys here to maybe quickly tell the audience where they can follow on social media.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's a great opportunity, so maybe you can tell us your channels.
Where can people reach you via social media?
Oh, everywhere. Twitter,
Instagram.
Yeah, what's your handle?
handle?
What's your handle?
Everybody's
You do
watching.
TikToks.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Yeah, show us a TikTok just
No,
kidding.
no, not
Don't
those.
do that. No, but how's your handle on Twitter, for example? Like if people in the audience.
It's my name with
Your name.
3 A's.
That's easy with 3 A's.
Yeah.
All right, you guys heard it. How about you?
Yeah, for myself too. Just my name with the racing behind it, and
And
that's
then
me.
we'll find you. Okay, and Niklas?
Yeah, for me it's probably only Twitch, and that's my normal name.
Okay, perfect. So we know how to reach you, how to find you, and how to keep an eye on you. Guys, once again, please put your hands together for your Sim Racing Professional Trophy powered by VCO Podium with our champion, James Baldwin. And guys, I've heard the GT500 qualifier is already up and running. So I'd say, Radio Show Limited, take it away.
Thank you, Melly, and thanks to everybody there for that podium celebration. And nice to know that the checks have been handed out as well. Very good. Nick Damon and John Heintorf with you for our final race action of today, this Super Saturday. It's gone a little longer than we had anticipated, but again, thank you so much to all the technicians who've pulled together and solved one or two issues. But we do have some qualifying for GT500, the ADAC GT500. The main race is tomorrow, under 7 minutes to go, and cars are out on the track at the moment. Nick Damon, all GT3 cars again.
Yep, I think we've swapped over to iRacing, so we've changed platforms again. So we have indeed, because I can see the BMW M4 GT3, which is a unique on that platform. The lights are shining, so I think I'm interested in the time of day we've chosen. It could either be in the morning or it may even be now. Maybe sort of like 7:20 CET. And this race is a 50-minute race, 2 driver. Well, 24 laps.
Yeah.
2 drivers. There's a driver change as well. So it's a proper team race, and it's actually a qualifying race for tomorrow's 2-hour main event.
Can't wait. Can't wait. Really looking forward to it. Evening time, pulling in a lot of the big teams represented here, Nick.
Oh, yes.
And some very big names.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we have the weather conditions at the moment. There's 27 in the air. Partly cloudy. It's the 3.15 mile track. Sprint race, grid position. So the keys to the race, it's all for grid position for the endurance race. It is a tyre management race, and there's a mandatory pit stop with an incident limit as well. And you know all about incident limits.
Oh, I've gone over them many a time. Yes, of course, the instant points, the way of reining in the more flamboyant of a driver within the iRacing world. Effectively, you can get an instant point for going off track in a way that might gain advantage or just makes you look silly. You can gain 2 instant points for spinning the car, which I'm sure we won't see here with these top drivers, or you can get between 1 and 4 instant points for a coming together depending on the severity of the outcome.
Let me run through some of the teams for you. VRS Coanda Sim Sport leading out at the moment from BMW Team GB. Williams Esports in there as well with Phoenix Racing Esports. FIRA Sim Sports have just jumped up into second. Phoenix with, I think, a couple of teams. I thought I noticed, certainly the red number 5. IES SimRacing in there. RN Vision STS. Phoenix Green as well. There we go. Yas Heat, which is James Baldwin's team. We think he'll be jumping across to this. No?
He's not on the list.
Is he not? Okay.
Drivers. You have Cam Royale, Ross Woodford, and Andre Martins.
Okay.
Are down. There's a kind of a list of drivers, of which 2 will take part in this race.
Race Union, Schubert Motorsport, Huizingveld, 148 team, Digital Motorsports. We've got Urano, Sim Racing Academy, WS Racing Esports, Eifelland, BS Competition. 2 BMWs for those guys, Bureau Sud, Biela Racing Team, Euronics, Riley Sim Racing, Nürburgring Esports, powered by Ringversiert Sim Racing. So a lot of big names. Now what we can't tell you is who's in each car.
We may find that out for the actual race.
I think we'll find that out for the absolute race. 888 out on the circuit at the moment is a beautifully painted chrome green and black. Rather reminds me of the old flying, the old Black Swan colours rather.
Yes. And
the 888.
Of course, it is a Porsche, as many of these cars now are the recently released Porsche 911 GT3 992, I believe it is. I think it's a 992, isn't it?
No,
it's
we haven't seen the 992. The first and so far only 992 motorsport product is the Carrera Cup car,
which was released also on iRacing a few weeks ago, but
yeah,
this one came before. Yep. So you got a range of GT3 cars to choose from. I expect we haven't got indications of various chassis, but we've already seen Audis, we've seen Ferraris, a Ferrari there in the background, and of course we have seen the BMW as well.
VRS Coanda running in the top position at the moment with 2.5 minutes still to go. The number 80 VRS car from Fera Sim Sport. Looks like still, this might be a prep lap from the movement behind from the 488 Ferrari. Very, very noticeable with the extra headlights on the front of those cars.
Ferraris have also received an update very recently on the platform as well. So this is the most recent version, the Evo version of Ferrari. It has to be said that if you are in the sim racing world, there is an absolute sort of battle or a kind of a technological war between who can get their Evolution GT3s on the platforms quicker. It does appear to be for some reason, it has become sort of the blue ribbon class, which the various platforms compete against each other on.
Well, we've got our timing up and running, and it's VRS Coanda first and second now, the 80 and the 18 cars, with Fire Sim Sport in third. Marla just jumped up into fourth position, the 155-1. Riley by Sim Racing, Yas Heat going through there in the BMW. It's one of the new GT3 M4s.
Constantly interesting because that car was released on iRacing before it was released in the real world, and since the real world car is now running, it actually ran successfully, didn't it, the last NLS race. They have actually been adjusting the parameters of the virtual car to more match the real car now the real car exists.
Urano Esports, the red of carmine red, if it was a Porsche colour. That's not dissimilar to your Audi, a little bit darker maybe.
Yeah,
what's yours, Misano?
Misano officially, yes.
Yeah.
It's also known as DCR, which I can't say. But yes, that must be BMW Team GB.
Oh, that's a great
mainly
livery.
Because it's a BMW, and it seems to be flowing into a Union Jack. I could be wrong.
It is a great livery on that car. I've seen the BMW GB cars running before. Marla Racing Team 36. Now that's normally green and white, or a blue and white Audi. We'll wait to see that 36 car. That at the moment in 6th position. That's RN Vision STS with the zebra green stripes on the front. Like that as well. That actually makes that front grille on the BMW, which was a bit beaver teeth.
Thankfully it disappears.
It is a bit beaver, isn't it, at the front, the new BMW. Not sure what they were thinking of there.
The few front ends look better with a number plate because it breaks it up.
That's a very good point, actually. So Coanda Sim Sport 18 and 18, your top two from Fire, from BS Competition, from Urano, from Marla, from BMW GB, from Williams, from Phoenix Esports in 8th, Phoenix Esport red in 9th, and their green teammates in 10th. Yas Heat just outside the top 10 at 11. IS Sim white in 12th. RN Vision STS Sim Racing in 13th. T3 Esport in 14th. Race Union Deutsche Payment in 15th. Sim Racing Academy in 16th. 17th Team Racewerk red. Schubert Esport in 18th. Riley Sim in 19th, and the top 20 made up by WS Racing Esports. Heusingveld 148 down in 21st. They won't like that. BS Competition red down in 26th position. We've got 28 on the screen, and
Big spread.
yeah, it is a big spread.
I was wondering, was that practice or qualifying?
That's a good question.
Just throwing that out there, because obviously if it was qualifying, of course, if you trip over the line, you will lose your time in qualifying, which can lead to big gaps. If you trigger an instant point or have a little coming together, you'll lose that qualifying. Just there seems to be quite a larger spread than I expect.
Love the Heusingfeld colour scheme. Always have done. Look good on anything, particularly on that Porsche. That's the
Porsche.
So that's the updated Porsche with the bigger engine then,
Yes.
with the 4.192.
The Porsche's a good palette, I think it has to be said, for your paint schemes.
I think you have to work with the curves, don't you? Andy Blackmore would tell you, work with what you've got. Checkered flag is out on this session.
So I haven't seen any Lamborghinis so far, which is disappointing because they make a fabulous noise.
Right.
And I haven't seen any Mercedes either. So we've got 2 or 3 of the chassis we haven't seen. Doesn't mean they aren't there. There seems to be a Sol Ferrari. That's the second Ferrari. So we saw the
That's
the 159.
That's the Simration Schweiz car.
But the rest of them have gravitated, it seems, towards either the Audi or the BMW.
Coming into the pits now, blue and white car. Team GB dropping in. Fantastically modelled pit lane siren as well, exactly as we're used to hearing when we're on duty at the Nürburgring for either the Nürburgring Langstrecke series or indeed the pre-race or the race for the ADAC 24 hours of the Nürburgring Nordschleife. So waiting for the cars to come back into the pit lane. You're right, there is a big spread, but I'll tell you what, Nick, the top 11 are separated by seconds.
Yeah. So it's now whether we're going to qualifying or to the race.
I would say, looking at my team,
The sound makes me think we're going to the race.
I think we're going to the race. I think we're
That's
going to the
sound of
quali
pace
race.
car.
Because we did a little practice session earlier on that we didn't remember,
Right,
that we
yes,
didn't
yes,
see.
yes.
Yes, that was going on during one of the going on through it was the Fanatic, wasn't it, session on stage. So just coming up to 7:30 here at the Nürburgring, Central European summertime. Wherever you are in the world, stay tuned because we have got the sprint for qualifying, and it's Josh Rogers and Tommy Ostgaard on the front row for the Coanda team. Lasse Bach for Vera, Ryan Barneveld, oh excellent. Then Louis Nasher for Renault, Josh Thompson for BMW UK, Alessandro Bico for Mahler in the BMW with the green and white, as we thought. Dominic Steib for the number 50. That's the Williams Esports team. That's your top 4 rows. Behind them, Julian Kesselhut for Bureau Sud. That's the red side of Bureau Sud. Simon Amosa for the IES SimRacing Schweiz. Behind them in the 6th row, on the 6th row rather, is T3 Esports. And that's Oliver Ackermann and Fabian Holkstatter. Nicholas Heider for Phoenix. Jan Marszalowski for TGM. Ross Woodford and Florian Baudin. It's the Deutsche Payment car in 16th position on the outside of row number 8. Row number 9, we will have Nicholas Last and Björn Anschlag with Rennie Penquit and Andreas Fink sitting behind them in 19th and 20th. Till Berm and Leonard Hartenberg, the Heusvenk 22nd position 148 car. Patrick Jasinski for the AAA Porsche. Ronan Hedman in 24th position for for Nürburgring Esports, powered by Ring Vizier SimRacing. And then it's Sasha Rubel and Tobias Barsch. Luca Kita just coming straight off the last race for the Euronics Biela team. And Reina Talva for Budo Sud BMW in 28th position. Will not be happy, I wouldn't have thought, about that. 24 laps then for the race that will set the grid for the long race tomorrow. I'll be back with coverage for that. I'm really looking forward to it. A pleasant 18 Celsius, that's mid-60s Fahrenheit in the air, and on the track 25C. That's just about right, I think, for the tyres. Shouldn't be too hot, Nick. I wouldn't have thought for the tyres here.
No, this is a 24-lap race, 50 minutes, GT3. They will change drivers, but they won't need to change tyres. They don't actually need to fuel up, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do, because there is a driver change time calculated in, so you can do something else at the same time. So my guess is they'll probably run it very light fueled and put a bit of fuel in at the same time.
So
warm-up lap.
On the warm-up lap. How critical then in iRacing, and that is the platform that we're running here, how critical is this opening lap to get some temp in and pressure in your tyres?
It's fantastic, because there's a huge debate about whether weaving does any good, and somebody did a bit of research, and a little bit of weaving will give you a little bit of extra temperature, as will braking and lifting off. Yeah, you can actually, though it's very expensive in fuel, and you wouldn't want to do it in a race like this, you can actually run the thing with the brakes on and hitting the fuel, hit the power, run at 60 miles an hour, get some fantastic heat to everything. However, the extensive research found the gains are about 0.1 of a second the following lap. It's not a lot, and the weaving, because don't forget, unlike in the ACC we were watching earlier, these cars exist during the warm-up lap, so if you hit one during the warm-up, it still counts as a hit, and the damage will be done. So weaving is dangerous.
So here's something for later on. The 80 has the yellow wing end plates and the yellow mirrors, and the 18 has the black in the two Coanda VRS SimSport cars. So that we'll have to keep an eye on. It's getting a bit murky out there.
It is murky. I don't know whether they just set the time and date. just whenever we start, we'll go there. But this is going to be a race that's going into the darkness. And
into the gloaming.
The gloom, yes.
The gloaming at the moment.
I would suggest turn the brightness up on the TV monitor, to be honest. But
well, that is one thing that we can do, of course.
That's one thing you do when you're actually racing as well on the sim. Oh, that's much better.
Let's go to we'll go to dynamic mode on the monitor
so
here.
A phalanx of BMWs there with their wide mouth frog look.
You don't see any of these around here, do you?
No.
Always one of my favourite dad jokes, that. So, into the evening hours, just after 7:30 Central European Summer Time in real time. I don't think we're far away from that in game time, if I'm honest, as the 28 car field follows the Porsche safety car, or Porsche pace car as it is. VRS Coanda, SimSports, first and second, locking out the front row. Kyra, BS Competition, Arano, BMW Team GB, Marla, Williams Esports, and BS Competition Red are your top 10. I like that red and white BMW all the way to the back. So now the lead cars come around.
And it's the sharp hairpin.
Ah, excellent.
So there is going to be overtaking opportunities coming up the hill into that hairpin. So hairpin chicane, sorry.
I knew what you meant. Wait for the safety car to dive off over the cross hatching. So the field now under the control of VRS Coanda SimSport in every possible way, because they've locked out the front row. 24 laps to set the grid for the feature race tomorrow in the ADAC GT500, brought you with Coanda.
And the
long way. It's a long run down to the first chicane. 25 laps, excuse me. It will be 24 to come as we go across the line. You do want to give people a draft down to the first corner, Nick. Waiting for the green.
There we go.
And there we go.
You can go much earlier than that if you wish to.
I think that was team tactics there, as the two Coanda cars hauled it out, and there will be first and second into the first right-hander at the
carnage.
Carnage and the top 4 cars are going to be in a huge advantage as everyone else picks their way through. There'll be incident points aplenty there being served.
Well, there's probably damage as well, which is more important because that's going to slow the cars down.
I reckon that was down to Fira Sim Sport, the first 4. So Fira, Competition Blue BS, and the 2 Coanda cars, they are gone. They are absolutely gone. They have made their bid for freedom.
Oh, there was 5 cars. There's 5 cars in that run, John.
I think that was... Right, who was that's got through there?
Light yellow car seems to have got through at the back. And then there's a short gap to the next gaggle, and then it's all one by one, kind of reverse Noah, as they have already spread right out, having got through that incredible melee at the now found the Norbert Howe curve, which is fantastic. I didn't know Norbert
full course yellow. Full course yellow has been called. Now that means we'll see the safety car again, so we're going to pack everybody back up. Not sure how we're going to work this one out, but I'm hearing from race control that we've got a full course yellow, and we do have yellow up on the titles. Coanda first and second. BS Competition got the start.
Well, this of course is going to put everyone back into a line again.
But it'll be a single file restart, Dick.
Single file restart, but it's that's interesting. You don't normally see full course yellows in these races. They've obviously decided that the instant in turn 1 has disadvantaged too many people. So they want to give it kind of a little bit of an evening out.
They've definitely slowed down. They've definitely slowed down
Everyone's
to the safety
now
car speed.
Really, because you aren't linked to a speed, you're just linked to not overtaking, so they can catch up. Now, I'm wondering now where people are being a bit cute, and they're trying to use as little fuel as possible already.
Yeah. There is some visible damage on some of the cars.
The 33 car's got a real ensconced feeling about the front end.
Yeah, that's the RN Vision STS Sim Racing team. They're down to 23rd.
He's crabbing.
It's getting worse, isn't it? So
and what's happening?
The pits.
And of course, the others can't actually overtake him because we're under full course yellow.
Well, you're on the radio at that point, asking your team manager to talk to race control and say,
yes,
"Can I pass the 23
It's a computer
car?"
that will give you a foot, so you have to wait to get round.
Got you.
There is very little arguing with the computer. So the cars are all now lining up.
So who are the big winners and losers? Williams Esports seem to have dropped down with the 50 car. So that car has definitely had some problems earlier on. They're down to 22nd. Team GB right at the back as well. BMW Team GB have dropped from inside the top 10. So that is a big drop from them. So is that where it started? Because they were in that sort of 6th, 7th, 8th position.
Yeah, it was 6, 7, 8. They kind of all concertinaed together in the fat part of the of turn 1. It only takes one person to touch another person.
In the fat part of the Howe curve?
The Howe curve, yes, amazing. Was it the leather jacket part? That's great. But no, you think about it, if you go in there and you lightly tap one person, you're probably getting away. The person who taps round and therefore is a roadblock for 20 other cars. Yeah. And that's where it all goes wrong. And people then try and avoid it and avoid the hit other people. And it's just it's a nightmare.
So this will slow down the race time. But of course, we've still got 23 laps to go.
Now the question is, are they going to run a short yellow? Because you don't have to go through the whole process anymore. There's a way of you can just run a lap or 2 laps of yellow within iRacing now. So you haven't got to go a full lap and open the pits and everything else. So whether this is just...
Right, just before we discuss that, let's go back to the Heusingfeld replay and see what happened. The first 4 were fine. So it's further back down the field. As they come into the first corner, Team BMW car gets absolutely
BMW gets
nailed.
done by the 5. It was the 5 car, the red
Phoenix, the red Phoenix car,
and
that was the catalyst.
And then you see the lucky people who came up the inside got away with it. It's, if you watch the F1 race at the Hungaroring a few weeks ago, you'll see what happens when someone turns someone around the first corner. Some people are lucky, some people are unlucky. And certainly, if you've spent your entire time...
Who's going to be Pierre Gaston?
I don't know, Esteban Ocon.
Esteban Ocon, sorry, yes.
Well, of course, the first 4 did get away in this one, but they got pinballed out last time. But no, I mean, there's some big winners there, and you're absolutely completely right, John. You've identified the major loser, and that is the BMW Team GB car, because my guess is not only were they spun, but they got damage as well.
But surely Phoenix Racing Export will take a penalty for that?
I would expect so. That would be my guess. That'll be assessed, I'm sure.
Even on a first lap, first corner? Well, I think you've got to, haven't you?
But they would have got 4 instant points, but that's not necessarily enough. But again,
I don't know exactly what
the thing you have to realise is it wasn't vindictive.
No.
It
but
was
still a
it's one of
mistake.
those things that happened in the first corner and they spun round. I mean, absolutely, if this was an F1 race, you'd be looking at a 5-second or 10-second penalty and move forward from there.
Team Raceway 72, black and orange car, as we
Pit
have got
stop.
the pits opened. And this is damaged cars coming in to the pit lane from well down the Crocodile. We're still under full course yellow. So first 4 have gone across the line, first 7 or 8 have gone across the line.
Should get a pit caller.
So Schubert Motorsport Esport, the 19 car, in the pit lane, been in there for 6 seconds already. The Team GB BMW are in, and they will. I think they're all going to need a bit of repair, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, if it's an optional repair, it may be a minute, 30 seconds, or 2 minutes. But if it's a major repair, they'll need an 8-minute stop, and we're not going to trundle around for 8 minutes. They'll have lost a lap anyway. So
Correct.
My guess is what they're trying to do is even up some of those repairs.
Now, of course, this is that's a very quick pit stop for the number 19. Back out. That's the Schubert Motorsport Esport car, and they've come back in just behind the Deutsche Payment at Race Union car. So that is going to be 25th position. BMW Team GB. All right. I wonder if they've got a quick repair.
They might all have one fast repair. You're right.
Yeah.
Are they all coming out fast as well?
They were the only 2 cars that I saw going in. Still racing, waiting for RN Vision STS, the 33 car.
Yeah,
that was the one that was crabbing.
There's one car, the Deutsche Payment Reunion car's been in for a long time, and the rest have all been in for a stop. Literally,
No, Deutsche Payment. I thought I saw Deutsche Payment. No, Deutsche Payment's out.
Yeah,
Deutsche
but
Payment's
they
on the
took
track.
32.6 seconds stopped. The others
Right.
stopped instantaneously and did get a fast repair. Now, you know what can happen, don't you? You can forget to tick the fast repair box.
Right. Okay.
So fast repair, just so you know.
Or you can forget to not put fuel in.
Yeah, you can. Yeah. iRacing obviously bottles damage and then it gives you a repair time. But if you are running in certain championships, they give you what's called a fast repair, which is basically one get out of jail free card for an instance such as that.
Safety car will be coming in at the end of this lap. Thanks to Marina, getting us all of the information here at Radio Show Limited's Global Broadcast Centre.
Of course, with that fast repair, you still lose track position, but you have a car that is healthy for the remaining 22 laps to try and make those positions back up, or some of those positions back up.
And does that put the car back to absolute Ron
That's
Dennis optimum?
Brilliant question, because it's supposed to.
But it never really does.
No, 95% of the time it does. Every now and again, who knows?
Right. Does it depend how badly it is?
No.
Right.
It's the wonderful world of randoms.
Excellent.
But normally, yes, fast repair will totally repair the car as we get ready to go green again.
So the safety car will pull back in again and leave the field under control of VRS Commander number 80. That's on the yellow mirrors. Behind it, the 18 with the black mirrors and the black wing end plates. Then it's BS competition, Buenos Sud competition blue. The BMW's VCO SimSport will start in 4th position. It will be a single file start, coming through towards the end of the lap. The Coca-Cola curve now in front of the Dorint Hotel. Porsche pace car in the pits. Safety car, excuse me, in the pits. Now, when do you go now?
Just go.
You just go. Yeah, you do just go. VRS then. Oh, really good jump by the leader. Will have no need to defend into the first corner, down into the Haug hook, down the inside for the Mahler, number 36 of Mahler Racing Team, the BMW in its traditional colours there, sitting in 5th position. Now, right in there as well, Phoenix Racing Esports and Urano Esports as well.
Yeah, it was Urano who was the problem first lap.
Was it Urano or was it Phoenix?
No, it was Urano, the red car. It was Urano who was the problem first lap.
Well, Phoenix is red as well, 5 car.
Is it?
Yeah.
But it was the red Audi, which is Urano.
Okay. You say so?
I do say so.
Right.
Obviously, now I have to go up to stewards and justify that.
Okay. So we'll see if that gets a penalty. The red and white BMW making its way through further back down the field. And that is a striking colour. Is there damage on the front of that car? No, I think they've got away with it. That is the number 2 of Digital Motorsport, 21st position. Williams Esports just ahead.
You can have some visible damage. It doesn't actually really affect the performance of the car, and that's something we would have needed to assess during that kind of first yellow flag. Is did we think it's okay? Otherwise, we come in and take our repair and lose track position. There's a queue of traffic now as we run up the hill again.
And at the front of the field, VRS first and second have consolidated their lead. Further back down, the number 8 the Yas Heat car, and that's in 10th position. That turquoise or teal blue car sitting in the middle of that battle, with Marla having a look at the braking point and trying to make up a position on Fiery Sim Sport right ahead of them. That's 4th and 5th as they come through to complete the lap. Top 3 have just broken away a tiny little bit. BS Competition Blue, the Bureau Sud car with the zebra stripes contrast either side, goes across in 3rd position.
Yeah, I mean, this is a really important part of the setting down after the panic and the weird reset of the first few laps, because I mean, very clear that yellow flag period is not at all common in this sort of racing. It's obviously very common in IMSA racing and obviously in NASCAR, but in this sort of GT3 competition racing, you don't see that. You know, you'll do a 24-hour spa, and that will never happen. But they've had this chance to reset, which is a good idea because it's a qualification for a main race. Let's not completely ruin someone's weekend on the first lap. Yes, there's been some disadvantages. BMW now, Team G got back to 19. They can obviously take some time here, gaining some places, and then attack tomorrow. But there's a lot of people who are sitting there going, I'm really a lot further than I thought I'd be, forward or back. As the only Ferrari, I believe, of IES SimSport sits in 10th, and you kind of want
it's the 159.
You want to sit down and say, why have you chosen the Ferrari? Well, I mean, it might be brilliant, but everyone else hasn't. So what have you seen in the Ferrari that the half the teams who've driven Audis and half the teams who've gone BMWs haven't seen? Sorry, half the teams who've driven Porsches and half the teams who've driven BMWs aren't. There's a couple of Audis. Haven't, there's 4 models here. We've only one Ferrari.
We've seen the 159 in real life running as a Ferrari. This is IES SimRacing Schweiz, sitting, as I say, in 10th position, right behind the Yas Heat, and behind them is the Phoenix Racing Esport Green. Raceberg Red in 12th, Riley Sim Racing in 13th, Heusingfeld 148 coming back through the field. Now they were a big winner then. The Heusingfeld, they were down in the 20s at the start, and I think they wouldn't like that. And the 148 Heusingfeld car then up to 14th position, side-by-side action coming onto the back straight. That is the Bureau Sud car to the pit wall side, the red Bureau Sud BS car. That is 7th, 8th, 9th, and Marla down the inside defending. Number 5 is the Phoenix.
With the logo in 15th place, T3 Esports is supposed to be a Lamborghini. I haven't seen it yet, but it's supposed to be a Lamborghini out there in 15.
Right, I'll keep an eye for that for the 71 cars up. Yeah.
It was just down there as the logo on the bottom of the screen with the Lamborghini prancing bull.
Oh,
that's not good.
Now that's one of the Phoenix cars. That's the red, the Phoenix.
That's 5. Car 5's gone out. Yeah, that's Phoenix Racing Esport Red. You're absolutely right. Even if it's not red, it's the Esport Red car.
That's what threw me out before. So when I saw the 5, when we saw the 5 on the windscreen, that was position 5 and not car 5.
Yeah, they've got
of course it was.
Lights. Well, that was. I don't think he was even helped there, was he?
No, he was.
Was he?
Yes.
I looked up and it was going. I was still trying to desperately find this Lamborghini that's supposed to be out there.
That was more than a bit of a help.
Oh, was it a love tap nudge?
It was a bit more than that, in fairness. It was I really love tapped you then, in that case.
It was a thump.
Yeah, it was I love you so much.
Please get off the track.
Yeah, please get out of my way. So now the fight back begins. It was pretty much in the door, so I'm sort of hoping...
No, that won't damage it. He won't have got damage.
Right, okay.
Sorry, he won't have got any business-affecting damage.
I'm pretty certain.
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, that was actually, to be honest, that was really the definition of a racing incident, because he cut across at the same point as the red BMW was a little bit too far up his...
That was BS competition.
Up his behind, but realistically, if he hadn't cut across so viciously, he'd have been fine. So I certainly, if I was Nick the steward, I'd be going, racing incident, carry on, boys.
Okay. Bob Barfield, our race director in IMSA, always says, race other people the way you would like them to race you.
So would Bo be doing avoidable contact on that one?
I like avoidable contact as a phrase because it doesn't apportion blame or willful intent. Whether you've made a mistake or not, it's just something that really shouldn't have happened. Down the inside, that's a lovely dive down the inside by the Phoenix Audi number 5.
That's recovery drive.
And the GT tyre sponsored WF Racing Esports in the in the Porsche. It's the number 99. Nice livery on that car as well. Team GB, BMW fighting their way back up. They're back inside the top 20. That is a quick car.
They've gained a couple of places. Yeah, they were 18. The last time I looked up, they were 19th. So gaining a place. So it's
outside the top 20.
The same issue we're going to be seeing again, as we saw in the previous race, is that you're modelling these cars. They're very close to each other. You've got great drivers, and getting past is going to be difficult. They do have, of course, the big stop into the NG chicane to do it. So and it's kind of feinting and trying to put people slightly off as they come into the corners. But that's your one chance.
Hirano Esports, the transgressor, we believe, at the start of number 90, and the Fire Sim Sports number 26 BMW. So that's Audi versus BMW, racing for 4th position. Ahead of them, the 91 BS competition, the Buda Sud car for BMW, and then the 2 VRS Coanda Sim Sport machines, 18 in second, 80 in the lead by not very much, 3/4 of a second. Those two are split. 18 laps to go. It's the GT500, the ADAC GT500. This is our qualifying race, if you will. If this was F1, we wouldn't be able to call it qualifying or a race. It would just be the sprint.
Yes, and we'd be asleep by now.
And none of that action would have happened, and none of that passing would have happened, would it?
No.
Let's be honest.
They'd all be going, when's me tea?
Yes, exactly right. Exactly right. So this is the battle for grid positions for the 2-hour 30-minute race tomorrow, which we will have coverage for you. Looking forward to that immensely. Buda Sud red going through, Ferrari in behind. That is the ADAC SimRacing Schweiz car. 7th and 8th, those two. Then Phoenix Esports green. Actually, that wasn't the Phoenix car, was it?
Oh, there's the Lamborghini. I've seen it.
Have you?
Yes, it's just
there's been a Lamborghini spot.
It's the back of this train of 4 cars.
That's a T3 Esports car.
He's got a colour. He's got a fantastic camouflage in there. He's trying to look.
Oh yes.
He's trying to look like an Unwell Silver Beetle, isn't he? Really? It's absolutely. It's the design not to be seen. He's obviously thought this is a major advantage. These 4 cars, 3 Porsches and a Lamborghini come up the hill. That's the start of a joke, obviously, isn't it?
No, absolutely not. It is in the Russian convoy camo colours, isn't it?
Yes.
The broken up colours. I've seen cars running in that. It's the Myler sponsored car. Jens Horman behind the wheel of T3 Esports, as he's in 14th position. Right in front, Team Racewerk Red, Team Heusingfeld 148, now at the 12th, and Riley Sim Racing. Those are the 3 Porsches.
3 similar Porsches, 3 similar chassis, and then behind them the howling mid-engine V10 of the Lamborghini.
Never be a match for the flat 6.
Well, possibly not. But interesting what was interesting there is those 4 went through the heavy braking system and they didn't gain or lose a single metre. So
No.
we were back in this situation where we've got people who are too talented.
Nobody making mistakes. This is the battle for 11th position across the line. Riley Sim Racing, Heusingfeld 148, who started way down, now in 12th position. Racewerk Red, T3 Esports with that Lamborghini.
The gaps are all almost exactly 0.4 of a second between this train. Now I'm beginning to wonder whether this is a deliberate case of just working some laps down, keeping the position and wondering what to do at the second half of the race.
The next car back is the number 5 Phoenix Esport Red, which isn't red, which is black and yellow in Audi shape. And that car is closing in. Yeah, that is a great camo colour for that Lamborghini.
That's why I didn't see it before. This is the point. I didn't see it before because it was now that's a little snifter there as he goes down towards the Dunlop curve. Can you get positioning inside? There's been one of the it's like wildebeest, isn't they? One of the Porsches are broken off from the herd, and it's now being attacked by the Lamborghini.
By the cheetah. Yes, absolutely. Esports Racing Green, right up behind Schweiz, the ADAC Schweiz car, Hop Swiss. It's my much lamented and dear departed mother-in-law, would have always have had me say. The Swiss cross on the wing end plates of the Swiss Motorsport ADAC SimRacing car.
Coming into the chicane. Oh, he's made him think, but
big tank slap.
No. See, that's what happened. He went to think about doing it. In doing it, he put a wheel on the grass and then braked with the wheel on the grass, lost it. He's gone into the side of the car ahead. Now I'm wondering whether that's going to cause a problem. No, he's abandoned the pits.
Really?
I don't know how much damage he did because he basically spun in his own way, lost a huge number of places, but spun on himself after coming against the Ferrari.
Let's take a quick replay and see what happened there. Was there a right-hand tyre on the grass, I wonder, as they came up the hill? Dick is nodding at me.
That's why it did what it did.
Okay. I think we've got a Heusingfeld replay to check on that. We have got cars in the pits. The Nürburgring Esports powered by VCO SIMRacing is in, and WS Racing Esports is in, and Eifelland Esports is the safety car, I think. So coming up to
faint, the space isn't there, so they'll come up the inside. Think about it.
This is the Phoenix Esport green car, which also is green. There it is. There it is. The wheel on the grass. It's the old wheel on the grass trick.
Yes, wheel on the grass, and the car goes round and round.
Wheel on the grass car. Okay, yes.
It almost works.
It's been a long
scanned.
day. It's been a long day. Well, now that we've sorted that out, with 15 laps to go, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be back with the GT 500 conclusion next. So 14 laps to go for the ADAC GT 500 at the 2021 ADAC Sim Expo here at the Nürburgring. Nick Damon is alongside me, John Hindhoff, in the Radio Show Limited Global Broadcast Centre. Delighted to see this racing going on, and so far, Nick, it's been a Porsche benefit at the front.
Oh, you must be so sad about this. Are you virtually ecstatic?
No, I'm actually ecstatic.
Yes, Josh Rogers with the 80 VRS and the SimSport is leading away. He's absolutely identically liveried teammate in the 18, and they are obviously making no attempt to overtake each other in this qualification race, and just pulling away. There is still one spanner to come. Everyone's got to make a pit stop and change drivers, but certainly for this first stint, we're coming halfway. Amazing.
The first car that's made a pit stop, but I don't know whether that would count as its mandatory pit stop, was Deutsche Permanent Race Union. They were in very early in the 87 for that damage stop, as were BMW Team GB.
None of those stops will count.
Right, okay. If you say so.
Well, that would be making travesty the whole game, no, wouldn't it? The whole simulation, no, wouldn't it? Well, I think they need to even drive.
Oh, Urano are in. Now this is the first of the top teams in with 13 laps to go. Urano
11, so it must be a window like 11 to 14 where you put the first driver in or out.
Right, okay. So they have been in for 15 seconds now. The Urano Sports number 90, the red Audi, dropping out of the top six.
And this is a good plan. If you're in traffic and you feel you can go quicker, this is this is the unpleasant undercut, I had to use the word, but this is where it may come into play. You'll get released into clear track. You can do 1, 2, 3 laps as fast as possible. No one in front of you. You may get a couple of places.
The 171 T3 Esports Talent Development, which I presume is another Lamborghini.
Not sure, but
okay. They have the 71 Lamborghini as in. Schubert Motorsport Esports, the number 19 car is in. It is a Lamborghini.
Hey!
Thank you.
2 of them painted in camouflage colours I couldn't see.
I had some camouflage trousers, but I put them down. Couldn't find them anywhere.
I know.
Never seen them again. So into the pit lane, the iRacing safety car sits there, and the white and green car is the safety car that we've been using. It's the Eifelland Esports Racing branded car. So pit stops there for Schubert Motorsport as well as the Talent Development T3 Esports 171 Lambo. Arano back out again, and now having changed drivers. I presume. Well, maybe they thought that because it was traffic that was further back down the field, they could still make.
He's managed to get past that BMW very quickly, but he's got the blue, light blue Porsche in front of him causing problems.
That's the RC Haltern, number 27 Porsche in the two-tone blue. Do you think anybody would have changed tyres? No point.
I can't believe the point. Look at the stop times. 40s. No, where's the stop time for Arano? What position are they in?
Arano's 21st.
33.8. If that's actually the stationary time,
it is.
You can do tyres on that.
Would there be any point in doing tyres?
Well, no, I don't think so, because also considering you don't need to take fuel. Your driver change time is about 12.
Team Racewerk 72, right in the midst of a battle with, behind them is the Phoenix red car, which is yellow and black, just to confuse stupid commentators. And ahead of them is the Heusingfeld 148, who have definitely, that Porsche has definitely done the best of all of that schmozzle on the first corner of the first lap and used the yellow flag.
Yeah, I mean, that's, they played the tactics. I'm not very surprised as I was to see the yellow flag coming out in a GT3 race rather than the Nürburgring Grand Prix Strecker. But I'm now, it looks like everyone is doing these 30-second stops. So they are, there is a driver change time, and you can get other things done while the drivers change. They perhaps are making the most of that, making the point, well, we've got to stop anywhere and change driver. We'll put new set tyres on.
The second of the T3 Esports Lamborghini is in and now out. Nürburgring Esports powered by VCO SIMRacing is in, and they're 36, 37 stationary, 40 seconds they were. It's quite a long time. BMW Team GP, by the way, their first stop, they were only stationary for 2.6 seconds.
Fast repair.
As with Williams Esports, 7.2.
Sort of fast repair.
Not quite as fast repair as what I was expecting.
I'm getting the kind of feeling they might have just decided, perhaps they didn't click the ticket in time, but yeah. This is a good move. The outside, this is the battle for 11th and 10th, and up goes the 5 machine, the Phoenix Red, not red. Past 8th,
actually. That's about for 8th.
Oh, he's got 11th. He's only picked up 3 from going in the pit. He scored 11th as he crossed the line last time round, judging by his windscreen. Whereas he made 2 or 3 places in this lap.
Yeah. Here they come across the line, and that's another place made up by the Esports Phoenix red car, red team, should I say, racing in black and highlighted yellow. Down towards the first corner, Heusingfeld, the 148, is the Porsche coming through from the back after picking their way through the carnage at the Haug first time around, and then behind them is Team Racewerk Red, and then Deutsche Payment at Race Union. Now they have done a 32-second stop,
but that was they did that at the start of the race.
Right.
That was one of the weird things about how they didn't use their fast repair. They may have.
So do we think Fire Sim Sport then, who are, well, they've just pitted.
Everyone else with a high number has done a stop, apart from Deutsche Payment and Race Union.
I think it's Digital Motorsports coming in as well, the number 2 car. This is a long stop for Fire Sim Sport.
Probably doing.
That's a minute.
That is a long time. Wasn't that from 3rd?
Yeah, absolutely. 4th actually. BS Competition, I think, we're up in the 3rd.
They've made an error there somewhere.
Well, they're sitting very not up on the jacks. Now being stopped for over a minute.
They
must have been.
My guess is they've had an issue with the driver change.
Right.
Something's happened, because a minute and 32 is longer than doing a full tank of fuel and a set of tyres. And there's an outside chance they may have made a horrible mistake and not clicked off don't fill it up, and they filled the tank right to brim by accident.
Yeah.
That can happen, though you can stop it halfway through. But even so, that and a full tyre change wouldn't take a minute and 39. my feeling is more likely they've had an issue with actually getting an online issue with driver check.
Nick Damon, our iRacing expert. Say hello to all of our friends at iRacing, Drew Adamson and the rest of the control room team in Boston, Massachusetts. We've worked with them a lot over the last 18 months. Down the inside for the number 8 Yas Heats, the teal, blue and black BMW in turn 1, now turn 2 around the outside of Ferrari. That is the SimRacing Switzerland car, IES.
I thought the Swiss
still side by side.
I thought the Swiss showed some excellent spatial awareness there.
Yeah.
Going through the Howard corner. I mean,
almost very fair, the Swiss.
Absolutely.
Very
yes.
diplomatic through turn 1.
You could always get a Toblerone between two cars, couldn't you?
No, not quite. Not quite at all. I think the car looks fairly neutral, the way it's handling.
I think so, yes. We'll have a vote on where it's going to finish.
Oh, that was a nasty little hip check. A little bit of hip and shoulder there from the number 8
Very
team.
rude.
Yes.
Very rude.
Yas Heat going through. Yas Heat going through with that big red rear wing. Now the number 159 Ferrari. Let's forget about that now because they're under pressure as well.
And then in the pit stop, like everyone is, we have only 10 laps to go. My feeling is the window will probably be that everyone has to come in now.
Yeah.
Because you're halfway, you give it a window of like from 10 laps to go to 10 laps gone effectively, which is a 4-lap window. Otherwise, you're not really evening out the driver.
I suppose you might have had a word, mightn't you? Just said we'll do what we need to do. Heusingfeld still in 7th position. That is great, but none of the top, I reckon, none of the top 12 have done enough time in the pits to make it a stop. And here they come, the two VRS Commander Sim Sport cars from 1st and 2nd, 80 and 18 are in the lane.
I think everyone's
BS Competition Blue comes in from 3rd. Now will Yas Heat come in? The number 8 car from 4th position. They are trundling down the pit lane. Yas Heat have stayed out. The Swiss IS SimRacing 159 Ferrari come in. Yas Heat then go to the lead. It's the opportunity for Yas Heat. Got to be a really quick stop though. Phoenix Racing Esports go through. Heusingfeld go through. Racework Red go through.
Tyres are being changed, John, by the way.
Tyres are being changed for the Coanda. Okay. Maybe that's mandatory. We have seen that in some of the digital Nürburgring Längstrecke series.
They should be finishing the tyres in the next
30 seconds now.
30 seconds. Should come down. They're down 34 and both come down. Oh, but slightly slower away for the second car.
I think the BS Competition BMW got between them.
There was a really slow pickup again from the 18.
18, yeah.
They got split there. I'm not quite sure why you wouldn't just drop and go.
So, one of the first cars that we saw going in was Urano Esports, the number 90. That was one of the first of the leading cars that went in. I think that's still behind. So it's effectively come back out in 4th position. It's behind VRS Coanda, the number 18 car. So this is...
Yes, you're right. I can see it in the background.
Right.
That's a game. Through the pit stop process. It wasn't in 4th. I think it was in 6th, wasn't it? 5th or 6th.
Right.
The big gain though is this change for net second. Oh, hang on a second though, because when Yas Heat comes out, he's back in 5th again, isn't he?
Yeah.
So
well,
possibly, yes. But it's a big gain there for this BMW, the 91 car.
That BS Bureau Sud, as it's running the opposite side, and we did see, of course, the Turner Racing BMW running with the Bureau Sud livery on one side.
Yas Heat haven't come in again.
No, 9 to go. 8 is across the line. Yas Heat stay out. And let's see if Phoenix Esports stay out as well. Yep. T3 Esports Talent Development have got a lap down now, but they'll get that lap back when Yas Heat comes in.
Racework in not actual 4th, but 4th when they came in.
SimRacing Academy then go up to 4th in the 143. Heusingfeld yet to stop, but up from down in the 20s, up to 3rd position.
They're 9 seconds off Yas Heat though, so when you look at where they might be coming out, you're going to be saying somewhere in the region of 11th, I think. When it all, perhaps a bit less, perhaps 10th, when it all shuffles back out again. But of course, you can't really tell what the relative lap speeds at the moment. There are a lot of cars finally seeing some clear air for the first time in the first half hour of the race.
Just realised I don't have a last lap on my timing screen. I'll have that fixed for tomorrow.
Excellent.
8 to go. Bureau Sud competition blue ahead of VRS Commander S18. Or 18, can I say it? So I still think the VRS Commander SimSport is the leader, having done its mandatory pit stop.
Yeah.
That would be my shout. There they are. It's dropping down the hill now towards the...
They're definitely in the lead. It's the more of a sorry tale for their teammate who's just got himself dropped to the third. Now, the interesting thing, Yassi have run, I'm sure, about as long as they can on their number one driver or their first driver. I'm surprised they've been allowed to go
the end of the lap.
8 laps.
It'll be 7 to go this time around.
No.
Stays out.
They're completely flexible when you bring
Yeah,
the
must
driver
be.
in.
Must
Just
be.
have to do it. You're not evening it up. But the thing about the evening up is you get even use of tyres, don't you? You
Right.
do 12 laps.
Heusingfeld's in. Heusingfeld is in.
Running it long and short, unless you're very much sure your number one driver is the best, he's running on much older tyres than needs to be.
So Team Heusingfeld 148 into the pits from what was third at that point. They're not yet at their pit stop. Oh, over the curve, VRS Commander SimSport.
Young has taken over from George Roy. It's a pretty strong pairing, that, isn't it, really?
Yes, very much.
You kind of think, yeah, that's not going to have any problems.
They've got Lego Technic as one of their sponsors. Did you see the one-to-one Tom Christensen Audi that Lego have built?
No.
Full size.
What?
Full size.
What? 8? 10, 15?
The last one that he
18.
drove, the 18.
Wow.
The one with the roof on.
Oh, wow.
Absolutely extraordinary.
Amazing thing about those things is how much they weigh, isn't it? When you actually get them out, they weigh many times.
Many times the weight of the real car. Lego, of course, who, among other things, are the biggest car tyre manufacturer in the world.
Certainly at the moment, because no one's building any.
Well, it doesn't matter. They still are. 7 to go. Race Union back in the pits for the third stop, as with BMW Team GB as well. I think they're fighting problems, and this might be their driver change, actually.
Yes, I'm not quite sure if Team GB will quit their third stop.
I think there was a couple of stops for damage early on.
They stopped once to do a super fast repair.
Good point.
They don't know what's going on. That's weird. That's a strange situation, but you don't know. We aren't seeing every car around every lap, and there may have been an unfortunate off at some point.
True enough. So Yas Heat still have yet to stop. Phoenix Racing, Esport Red in second, have to stop. See above comment for Sim Racing Academy GT 500 the 143 and the 15 Phoenix Esport Green. And they are some 30 seconds ahead. The leaders are due round any time now.
They've done another lap. So Yas Heat and Phoenix have gone another lap.
Right.
They really are going to just do it right towards the end.
They've only got a 30-second gap between themselves and VRS, 35-second gap. That's their stopping. So the transit time in the pit lane is going to be what pushes them back. They're going to be bottom end of the top 10, maybe a bit further down.
Yeah, this is what I don't understand, because these guys have put on new tyres. So they're getting 12 laps effectively on each set of tyres.
Yeah, makes sense.
Whereas they're already on to lap 18 of this tyres. When they change, they'll only get 6 of the new ones. So they are giving themselves more old tyre, if that makes mathematical sense. And certainly looking at the fact that they're not really pulling away, it's an interesting. Well, it's an interesting concept. They decide they're going to run long. They're going to run long with driver 1. Driver 2 is going to may get only a lap or may get 2 laps on fresh tyres, but they'll be cold as well. So it's a really strange concept. Yes, break it in 2 would be my opinion.
Yeah.
Lap either way. I mean, obviously we had that 2-lap safety car period, so that obviously moves halfway actually to lap 13 or 14 rather than lap 12 as far as tyre usage is concerned. But Yas Heat ploughing their own furrow. They are losing time lap over lap to the second place scored Phoenix Racing Esport Red, who gained 9 tenths, then 7 tenths, and 3 tenths, and 6 tenths. So they gained 1.6 to about 2.4 seconds over the course of the last 4 laps. So I think Yas Heat are not going to emerge as they do another lap without stopping. Are going to emerge as far ahead as they would wish to be. I think you're absolutely right with your prediction, John. I think 10th or 11th. It might be as bad as 10th or 11th. And don't forget, when they didn't go into the pits, what were they, 5th?
Yeah.
When everyone else pulled in.
Well, we've got 5 laps to go. Surely pit stops next time round. Yas Heat have not stopped. Neither is the top 4. We reckon VRS Coanda SimSport at 80 from pole position is the leader after the stops. Into the final stages, the last 5th of this sprint.
Yes.
The sprint.
That was the light blue Porsche off the road there in the Mercedes arena. Having a bit of a squiggle.
That was. Is that the WS Racing Expo car?
It's one of the ones towards the back.
Okay.
He's had some problems, but it was a background shot. But is that the second Coanda car ahead back into second place? I think
yes, it is.
Net second, not actual second, net second.
The other thing is the 2 BS competition cars are together on the timing screen in 7th and 8th. Still, the top 4 have not pitted, but that is a change of position with the 18. The VRS Coanda SimSport car that started on the front row lost that position with a slightly tardy getaway as the car came down from the air jacks. Now, let's go back to have a look at the replay if we can. We'll get that in a moment and see where that happened out on the Grand Prix circuit. Yas Heat in the pit lane from the lead with 4 to go. They haven't even tripped over the line yet. Phoenix Esports come in.
I wonder if this is the maximum you can do is 20 laps. You have to come up with these last 4.
5 to 5.
Something getting through there.
So that was
the run up to the chicane.
Yeah, as you said, it is a breaking point now, isn't it? Actually, the Bureau Sud car was the car that caused the incident with the Porsche.
Right.
Yeah, that was contact. That was why the Coanda car managed to get back through. So top 4 in the pits. Coanda SimSport 80 goes through. Their team car goes through in 2nd. BS competition 3rd and 4th. This is good team racing at the front of the field. That's been a heck of a run for the 2nd of the BS competition cars, because they were almost dead last, weren't they?
And there's Yas moving now. I think they're going to get scored. They're just ahead of the 159s. They're going to score in 8th. So
well,
that dropped back as bad as we thought. It's 7th or 8th they're going to be.
Yeah, but they're on colder tyres.
Yeah, this is his chance.
Touch.
Netcode. It wasn't a touch, it was netcode.
Was it?
It was netcode, or it may have been over-ambitious power application with cold tyres.
Well,
don't forget this driver's coming completely cold into cold tyres as well.
Yeah, good call.
So it's the second driver. It's not like you've done a pit stop and you're really used to it. But like I said again, I don't think it was deliberate from the Ferrari, and it was either a little bit of netcode, which is where the miscalculation of whether the cars are gives the impression of an accident, or cold rear tyres.
So that was the ADAC SimRacing Swiss car, and it was the battle for actual 7th place. Yas Heat have dropped back a couple.
Scoring Yas in 9th now, yes, because Phoenix Esports Red got through as well.
Yeah, they just drove through the carnage. Now, is there any damage to that car? They've gone very, very long, so they've got the best tyres, but only 3 laps at the end of this one to go. So coming out the pit lane, got to stay to the right-hand side of the line. Here comes the Swiss Ferrari. Has a look into the Mercedes arena. No, it's cold tyres, Nick. Taman calls it.
It's difficult. He's going to be
Phoenix was close.
Think about it. He's seen his teammate lead the race effectively. We knew it wasn't really the lead. He's got on there. He's got 4 laps to make a difference, and he can see a place looming in his mirrors. And he comes to a sharp, difficult corner in first gear, and just gives it too much right foot, and it's gone round. He's obviously sitting there thinking, I really hope that's not on the telly. And it was.
And it was, absolutely. Well, so far, we are now getting the Noah's Ark look at the front of the field. VRS Coanda and BS competition coming in 2 by 2. The battle for 2nd position and to get one of the Budo Sud cars on the front row is heating up again. These two have been at it since they've come out of the pit stops. Been very impressive driving. Behind them, Marla Racing BMW number 36, then the Urano Esports red number 90 Audi, then the white and blue IS Swiss SimRacing Ferrari, Phoenix in the grey and yellow Esports red, rather confusingly named, is 8th. That's a 5 car. Yas Heat still going in 9th position in the 8th. The top 10 is the best of the T3 cars, so we've got a Lamborghini in the top 10.
That's what it should be. I think it's good. I get very disappointed when you end up with all the same chassis in these GT3 races. We've got a good representative. We've got four of the 8 you could choose. I think we've got 5 actually. We've got Ferrari, Porsche, BMW, Audi, and Lamborghini. So we're only missing the Ford, which isn't really one anyway, and 2 others, and the Mercedes.
Right.
So the rest are all represented.
I've got a feel. I mean, how hard do you press now? You know, it's the difference between starting on the outside of the front row or the inside of the second row.
And this is the sprint conundrum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, at this point, I think BS Competition Blue are thinking, well, if he makes a mistake, yeah, fair comment, but there's no point me going for it.
No.
Because if I tip us both round, we'll lose places.
Now, VRS car and the SimSport is catching a bit of traffic there. The leading car, I think it's got through okay.
Yeah, I think he just nipped through.
Yeah.
Don't forget, you will get a blue and blue flag effectively in your cockpit in iRacing. You know when you're being lapped. Now, actually saying that, it looks like BS Competition decided, no, we're going to go hassle BRS Coranda for second place overall.
Last lap for the leaders now in the sprint.
Okay.
Oh, well.
I don't think it is. I thought there was one to go. Well, it's this final lap. Let's find what happens in the lap. Possibly because of the yellow flag business, it may have timed out.
Timed out, yeah. Good call. The time has run out.
Was it 24 laps and 50 minutes?
Whichever comes the quickest. Yeah, I think you're probably right, Nick. Something else I haven't got on the time screen is lap counter, I've just realised. Okay, making up for that for tomorrow.
Bit of column shuffling. I mean, one of the things, obviously, all the races we've done so far today, or over the course of the 2 days, have been on different platforms.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a great idea. Just Haasper on the last corner.
Oh, in the Michelin.
That is
great driving from both, side by side. They're going to dive down the hill. Does Budo Sud steer on the outside? Yes, they do. And they're going to tough it out to Advan at the bottom of the hill. Oh, it goes round the outside. That is outstanding driving, though. Racing Room asked for and given there, Nick, on the last lap, the last half lap, and it will be a VRS and BS competition front 2 rows.
That's amazing. That was he went for it, got it in a brilliantly clean way on the last lap, where the risk versus reward was quite limited as they come off the final corner, but I think he'll still get it over the line. As Mitchell de Jong comes over and takes the win.
Motorsports going very slowly there, and the Schubert car as well, I think just deciding to knock it on the head. Now, the battle for 7th position. Which side of the 4th row do you want to start on? The Swiss Ferrari and the Phoenix Racing Audi. I think the Ferrari's going to get the inside track. Yes, does.
Very hard to out-drag the car between the
first
corner and the... If you get a really good run, you've got a chance to get...
Yas Heat came home in 9th after running in the head of the field.
Lamborghini in 10th.
For T3, Biela. That's a good run for Biela. They were outside the top 20. They started outside the top 20. So the 23 car up there, Team Racework in 12th. Riley SimRacing and Team Huizinfeld. Huizinfeld, who ran very high and did their best. And they've made up about 10 places, I reckon, in that 140. The losers there, Fire and Sport, they're well down.
Weird long pit stop when they came in from 4th at half point.
The other big loser, of course, Williams Esports and BMW Team GB, the 55 car, although they've fought back to the inside of row 10 for the race.
Any progress after that initial first push. In the last 15-16 laps, they made no progress at all.
Across the line for WS Racing Esports. That's the GT tyres car. Just waiting for the second of the Lamborghinis to come through. The T3E Sports Talent Development. Last car on the lead lap, correct. Digital Motorsport in 24th was lap, as was Schubert, RC Haltern, and the STS SimRacing team all finished a lap down. Confirmation then, Josh Rogers and Mitchell de Jong winning for VRS. Great run by Niels Koch at the end, no wonder. What a great drive. Ryan Barneveld started that one off, and he takes the outside of the front row for tomorrow. Tommy Erstgaard and Martin Kroenke will be in the VRS on the inside of the row, row 2 from BS competition number 28. Then the Marla Racing team, Alessandro Pico finishing off the good work by Daniel Lafuente. He's got the Urano Sports Audi alongside them. Then it's IS SimRacing Schweiz from Phoenix Red, Kevin Volkman, Fabian Holstatter. Jas Heat, looks like a single driver for Jas there in that, but still would have to have the minimum driver time when in the pit stop. Jens Hohmann and Oliver Ackermann making up the top 10 for T3 in that Lamborghini. So that's your top 5 rows. Bieler Racing from Team Racework on row 6. Riley Sim Racing on row 7. On the inside with Team Heusingfeld 148. Good progress from them. Fiery lost out after that long pit stop. Phoenix Racing Esport Green involved in all sorts of battles. That'll be row 8. Row 9, Nürburgring Esports powered by Ringversiert Sim Racing and Williams Esport. Dominic Steib, Moreno Sarica. Inside of row 10, BMW Team G-Race, Sammy Matty Trogan and Josh Thompson. Sammy Matty been doing some real world racing as well, of course. With Deutsche Payment at Race Union, Florian Baudin and Marvin Otterbach on the outside of row 10. And then finishing up Sim Racing Academy with WS Racing Esports 23, position 23, T3 Esports Talent Development and Digital Motorsport. Schubert Motorsport didn't have a good run. They were a lap down, as were RC Helton, RN Vision STS Sim Racing Team and BS Competition. The number 89, the third of the BS Competition cars, down in 28th outside of row 14. That's how they'll line up tomorrow. That's all unofficial, just in case there's any penalties to be added afterwards, incident points, etc. People who didn't take drive-throughs or whatever.
Yes. Who knows?
Yeah. So that is how it finishes. We've got a 2-hour and 30-minute race tomorrow. Can't wait for that one. That set the grid. No prizes to hand out right now. Nothing for winning on Saturday, but a front row start and pole position for VRS Coanda. They'll start first and third, second and fourth BS competition. Let's get back to Melly down in the exhibition space to round off what has been a super Saturday.
Thank you so much, Radio Show Unlimited. And yes, now we're here on stage and almost done, ready to welcome our winners of this GT 500 qualifying race.
To be honest, not such a big surprise.
Yeah, I mean, those two guys have been showing consistent performance over the past years. Am I right?
Also that, and Mitchell is already coming around with Joshua, and Mitchell is actually one of the guys which will probably maybe in the chance for the NASCAR championship. And when
that sounds quite amazing.
Yeah, when he wins that, he's one of the few drivers which already had like Rallycross World Championship, then NASCAR, maybe Porsche Cup after that, and then he's maybe for Dirt Oval, and then he maybe has all the titles we can get in iRacing. So. Quite famous guy.
That's an achievement, I'd say.
Yeah.
That's an achievement. So, and I see Mitchell de Jong and Joshua Rogers standing ready at the stage. Now, I'd say, without further ado, under a big round of applause, please welcome our winners of the GT 500 qualifying race, Wanda. Hello, guys. It's so nice having you here on stage. It's been a long while, hasn't it been?
Well
I mean, it's been almost, for us, I think, 2 years, right?
Yeah, correct.
So how has it been?
Busy.
I can imagine.
There's been a lot of racing, even though Yeah, we obviously haven't been back here, but the atmosphere's been fantastic. And yeah, nice to be able to start the race tomorrow off the front row. Race went well, car feels great, so yeah, perfect stepping stone for then.
That sounds perfect, and I'm really excited to see the race go down tomorrow. But let's talk about the SimRacing Expo so far. So how has it been for you guys? I've seen your TEAMBOX out there. It looks fantastic. Are you comfortable over there?
Well, I mean, first of all, it's great to be back. I mean, I think a lot of us have been wanting an event like this for a while. And it's super cool. Wasn't sure what to expect after the pandemic and whatnot, but feels just like home. It's like back in 2019 again, the good old days.
Exactly.
Actually, I have a question. You were nose to tail with your teammates for the longest time of the race. Did you have some sort of strategy, or were you sure that whoever stays in front is allowed to win the race, or what was the deal there?
No, not necessarily. I mean, we had obviously our focus for the race is getting through to tomorrow. That's the main thing. It was a really close battle between the sister car and BS in the end there. That was really exciting. But no, yeah, the main focus is always going to be tomorrow. Today is just to get the nerves out of it, and
walk in the park.
No.
Nah, I don't think so. Do you ever approach a race as a walk in the park?
Never.
Right.
It's always a new challenge. You never know what you might encounter, even if it's little hiccups here and there or whatever. So you're always on your toes. You're always trying to get the most out of yourself because everyone else is doing the same thing. So if you stop, everyone else is going to catch up. So no, it's never like that. It's always a challenge.
Any learnings from today for tomorrow?
Sorry, what was that?
Any learnings from today for tomorrow?
Yeah, I guess. The difference in fuel from that full course yellow. I think something that we weren't really expecting. I think that's something we'll check the drawing boards and make sure that we prepare for that a little bit better tomorrow. But otherwise, to be honest, we've prepared as much as we can before the event in terms of long run speed, tire degradation, all those kinds of things. So yeah, it's those kind of curveballs that we didn't expect that we can go back and look at. But other than that, no, I think we're all set for tomorrow.
Great job.
Mitchell, from your side, anything to add?
Yeah, kind of like Josh touched on, we need to make sure we are well prepared for full course yellow because turn one can be dangerous, as we've seen. But yeah, no, I think car feels good. Maybe we make some few tweaks here and there, but yeah, I think we can take a lot that we've learned here into the race tomorrow.
So today has been a very long day. Sorry, Danny, for jumping
I just had a
into
question
your
because how's the preparation going for the NASCAR? Because I imagine going here and coming back to your house and then get into the grind for eNASCAR and setting everything up is quite challenging.
It's been a really long year, switching sleep schedules to 3 a.m. for those races through the whole year. But now we're getting close to the end of it. Obviously, 2 races left. Had a really busy week with traveling to the US and racing there. And
yeah, well, of course, because most of the people don't know that you actually came from the US over for this event and going back again. And it's amazing to see that actually now sim racing drivers are more or less like pro drivers, just heading over, winning and go back.
It's really cool. I mean, like, you think we're just racing from our houses and whatnot, but like kind of we get to travel a little bit for these events, which is super cool, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, amazing.
And if we have a look on tomorrow there is another big race waiting. So how will your preparation go? Are you going to prepare anything tonight? Because the day has been very long, obviously. So how does it go? How does it work for Coanda?
Tonight, I think I'm looking to roll into bed,
yeah.
To be honest. But yeah, tomorrow morning we'll come back, make sure we're obviously doing a little bit more practice. Qualifying is done now, so we can focus fully on the race. Yeah, like I say, maybe just try a couple things that maybe we come up with tonight, and yeah, go from there. But no, I think I'm done for driving today.
But I'm curious. You guys never left out any chance. So basically, do you have a rig at the house? You didn't brought one?
No.
Honest answer? Okay.
But guys, thank you so much for your time after this race and of course this very long day. And I wish you we wish you best of luck for tomorrow. But for now, guys, once again, our champions of the GT500 qualifying race, Joshua Rogers and Mitchell de Jong from Coanda. Please, once again, put your hands together for the two of them, because they did very well today. And we expect nothing less tomorrow. And therefore, I think You can go now, actually, because I don't want to keep you for any longer. You've done your deed. You've been fantastic, guys. Take your rest. You deserved it. And yes, for us, there is nothing left to say, actually.
I mean, it's really been a long day.
Yeah, it was really
very
a
long day. Yes.
For you, more than for me, but yeah, I had some time to enjoy with the community. Actually, it was really great.
But still, I mean, it was lovely seeing so many people here on site, and I still have the queue in front of my eyes, like going out of the Ring Boulevard all over the bridge.
I made a screenshot of the video because I couldn't believe it, actually. I've been now for 3 or 4 times here, and the first time I see like people standing at the bridge, actually, for the parking lot. It's crazy.
Joe, how has it been for you?
Actually, it's been really cool, really nice experience. And for me today, the most, let's say, funniest thing was when Danny came back from the toilet, and he tried to come back to the main stand, and it took him like 45 minutes for 50 meters because everybody was just on top of him.
Yeah.
That was quite funny to see. Really cool. So a lot of engagement. Obviously, people having the chance to drive all the rigs here. Really nice.
Yeah, I'd say then without further ado, let's close off the day because it has been very long and you guys at home deserve an own prize for sticking with us for such a long time. And we'll see you guys back tomorrow, right? When are we starting? Again at 10-ish?
10-ish.
10-ish.
And I'm going to beat your lap time now.
Okay,
let's go.
There we go. It seems like we're having things to do. So guys, take care, have a wonderful night, and thank you so much for joining us for day 2 of the ADAC SimRacing Expo 2021, powered by Kowana. And yes, my name is Melek Baygun, this is Danny Juza, this is Johannes Stuck, and we're happy to be welcoming you tomorrow. So guys, take care and have a lovely night.